What up, Jadu? How you doing, dog? I'm just looking to start the ads real quick. It always takes so friggin' long for the button to be clickable. How's your Friday going, dude? Hey, Snack, bye, Snack. I'm gonna sleep. Alright. I appreciate you popping in, Shane. Have a good night. I'm good. I'm gonna learn composition so I can work on storyboarding. Hell yeah, dude. I don't know that I'm a huge fan of storyboarding personally. I like doing the animation more. But it is a skill that I feel like every animator should learn, you know? I'm hella cranky today. Just been having a rough end of the week. Let these ads run through. I ended up figuring out the face on this dude though, but I agree, but I realized that if I don't plan the shots out in advance, I usually end up with very flat feeling animation. Yeah, me too. Or just my issue is more disjointed hookups between shots. Disjointed, things just don't feel like they should be sequentially going into one another. But the one I put in critiques, I like it, but after it was done, it felt very 2D and not very dynamic the way I wanted it to be. I thought it looked fine. I think it was just sort of the ending pose that flattened it out a little bit, but flat is not the right term, but. Minute left on the ads. I don't know if I really want to listen to techno right now. I'm just kind of moody. I don't really know. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? What the hell was that? Blue Raz just subbed for 4 months, or I guess for 4 months, 4-month streak. Thank you so much for the sub, Blue Raz. Do a jiggle? Shit, girl, you know it jiggling. You know it, Jiggling. Do you want to listen to early 2000s alt rock? Yeah, sure. What are you thinking? Like fucking Fall Out Boy and shit? I'm just gonna type early 2000s alt rock and see what pops up. Okay. It's just like Avril Lavigne. Is it alt rock? Where are my titties at, dude? I hit the button. Give me a second here. There we go. Why wasn't it showing up? Honestly, Linkin Park's actually pretty good. Well, you can queue it up. The new Linkin Park with the lady Chad. Okay, what do we got? How much longer on these ads? Oh yeah, ads are done. Let me drop a Discord notification and get more people in here. How you been, Blue Raz? I feel like it's been a minute. Well, it doesn't feel like it's been a minute. I just feel like you know. I feel like I just don't talk to you as much these days, you know. So I figured out this guy's face, kind of. Finals have been eating my ass. You make school sound so fun. Well, are you almost done at least? Also, guys, if my mic's having any issues, let me know. I feel like this mic has been on its last legs for like a year now, and sometimes when I start stream, it's like really tinny or like weird. I try and unplug it and replug it every now and then, but I don't know if it really does the trick, you know? Yeah, today was my last day before break. Oh yeah, I guess all the students are going into their new semester, huh? Crazy. Us working folk just have normal lives still. I got fucking work on Monday. Nothing interesting really. You got any plans for the break Blue Raz? I was gonna say Blue Raz and break at the same time, and I said Blake. Any plans, Blue Raz? Spider Woman? Hey, very cool dude. How's it going, Slippin' Sid? What up, Sid? I'm going to Miami for New Year's. Gonna party? Shit. Damn, dude. Party girl. Crazy. You sound much cooler than me. I'm not doing none of that. Are you like you going to like clubs? Like what? Or are you just gonna hang out on the Miami beach? Like what's the game plan? You know? Be slipping and falling. You be slipping and falling. Sounds relatable. Spotify said no. Oh shit. Okay, well it's probably just the friggin' dude. This thing's been acting up. Let me restart this stupid songify thing. Give me a second here. Probably just gonna smoke with my friends and then go to the club and meet guys. Hell yeah, dude. Exams are gonna be the only thing eating your ass. You know what I'm saying? Okay, load up Songify. What the fuck? Okay, there we go. Ew, club guys? Look, man, she's like fucking, I don't know, you're like, what, 20, 19, some shit like that? That's the time. Why isn't this fucking working? It, like, booted, my Songify thing, like, loaded up, and then it, poofed away the second I clicked on it. Very annoying. Very annoying of it to do that. Twitch. It says it's connected. Huh. Let me restart this. I listened to this song so fucking much, dude, like 2 years ago. Mythically Malaki, how you doing? I just got dumped and I need a rebound? Shit. That sucks, dude. Well, hopefully you find some lucky guy to temporarily use and abuse and then, you know, discard. Or however you cope with your emotions. How's it going? Oh, not too bad, not too bad. I'm a little cranky. I don't know, I'm just in a grumpy mood. I'm not upset. I'm just, like, you know when you have, like, a fucking, like, a glaze over your brain that makes you, like, more susceptible to, like, being triggered. That's how I feel right now. Okay, Songify. Stupid app, dude. Oh, did that work? What the fuck? Why did it work for her? I didn't do anything, by the way. Wait, Jadu? Oh no, never mind. You did good thing giving up. Okay, it works now. Yeah, weird. I didn't do anything, so I take it. We take those. I hope you find an attentive lover. Yeah, or a skillful one, you know? I don't like that there's a little speck there. It's not important. Superman. Kryptonite. Pressure to succeed. Damn. Relatable name, dude. I feel that. How you doing, dog? Welcome to the Wolf Pack. I don't know what fucking layer I drew this on. Probably this one. Yep. I just want someone hot. Well, that makes things easy, I guess. Guys, I've been drawing traditionally again. And, like, I haven't drawn traditionally in a very, very long time. And I started drawing traditionally again. Except I'm doing it exclusively in pen. Because I'm a fucking masochist. And, I gotta say, guys, this is the first time I've, like, actually hard committed to drawing in pen. It's a game changer. And I think, like, I'm gonna start prescribing that shit. I feel like in the last, like, week, I've gained a lot more knowledge. Look, I can just bang out a hand. Just off of memory. Let's see, what kind of hand do I want to do? Let's do one... like, with the fingers out like this. And then we'll have them do like this. That's not very good. What I've been doing, basically, is just drawing the same hands over and over, like, every day. And so it makes it very easy to build up, like, the muscle memory for certain things, you know? Makes you really think your lines and line weight when you only use pen. Yeah, and it also makes you a lot more cognizant of what works and what doesn't, because it's very apparent and obviously incredibly obvious when you fuck up. Also, do you find yourself trying to Control Z, Command Z while doing traditional? No, because you know why? Because I think I use a really small sketchbook. Like, my tablet's like 13 inches. Like, the tablet I'm on right now, my screen's 13 inches, I guess. And, but my sketchbook is like a little moleskin sketchbook, but it's pretty tiny, right? And so because of that, it just feels inherently different. But I do know the feeling, like, I used to draw, I had like a phase where I drew on an iPad for a little bit. And then when I went back to drawing on paper, I would find myself double tapping the paper like a fucking lunatic, trying to undo something. Because Procreate, that's just how you, like, Control Z. Anyways. Also, as I've been doing my hand studies, I've been working through Bridgman, George Bridgman's books. And he, at least at the chapter I'm at now, and I'll probably make a video on it on YouTube, but the chapter I'm at now, he's basically, like, defined 3 major hand shapes. There are hook shapes, so something like, let's say this, right, that has like this, and then the thumb or whatever. This would be like a hook shape. Right? That's like a hook-shaped hand, and the reason it's a hook-shaped hand is because if you look here, this is basically... Actually, he calls it tongs. I prefer hook. Actually, he calls it tongs. What does it look like? It's like a claw, actually. Claw is better. It's got this claw dynamic, right? I have them on my bookshelf. I love his books on Andrew Loomis. I've gone through a lot of them, okay? And I've gone through his lessons before, but I'm like more hard committing this time. Well, that's not... I mean, I commit pretty hard when I do, like, most of my book studies. But, so this would be like a friggin', am I gonna say it? Claw. I call it claw. He calls it hook. Maybe he calls it claw, I can't remember. To me, it relates more as a claw, because you got sort of that, like, crab claw look, you know what I mean? And then the other one is, weapon. A weapon form, so think of like a spear, right? It's got this sort of, straight relationship going through it, much like me, okay? And then you can think of like a spear like this. It's got this really straight form to it. And you could think of that as sort of like, you know, a precursor to basically like a balled fist, right? And the reason you think of it this way is because the relationship going through the fist is relatively straight. So the dynamic is going to be a lot more straight on. And anyways, it just kind of looks like a sphere, but... And then the last one is a scoop. And this one, to me, is the hardest one. I can't draw it very well from, like, memory. But essentially, it's like your hand is, like, either upside down or right side up. Like, this would be a scoop. Because you could see, like, this hand here, actually. Because you could see sort of the, if you have, like a scoop here, like a literal shovel. Right, with like a handle and shit. Something like that, whatever. I don't know how a scoop looks. Anyways, but the idea is like this would basically be a scoop but upside down. The same way that you can do it, like you can hold your hand out to like do like a give me money gesture, you know, the fucking give me money gesture or whatever. But you can do it the other way as well. And so those are sort of the three main hand poses. I'm very early on in the lesson. But that's sort of what I've gathered so far. Anyway, so I'm going to keep drawing with pen for a little bit. I think I'm going to do a full month of just drawing hands. Maybe a couple more weeks, actually, because I'm getting a lot out of it, and I don't know if I need to do it for a full month. But I think after that, what I'll do is I'll move on to doing clothing, because I really struggle with, like, fabric folds and stuff. I think there's going to be a lot of value in me sort of brute forcing drawing clothes properly. But yeah, Andrew Loomis is a fantastic guy too. I mean, that's how I learned head, was through the Loomis heads through the Loomis method, you know. Did you turn this Victorian noble guy into a cool ass pirate? He's something. I don't even know what he is yet, Sid. I've actually done that before where I draw on a notepad and double tap the screen with 2 fingers because that's how you control Z on an iPad. Yeah, I know. It's weird. Sometimes studying makes me nervous because I don't know how well I'm going to retain the information when I actually need it. Alanix, you're correct and 100% based, always. Well, what I do, Jadu, okay, so I identify a set few hands that I really like, right? Like this one, super useful. You can do that for a lot of stuff. This one, very dynamic, very gestural, whatever. However you want to do it, whatever, right? Find a set of hands that you like, 4 or 5 of them, okay? And then make sure you do those every day. And then explore other hands and try variations of those hands every day as well, okay? So let's say you have like your core 5. And these core 5 are things that you're going to repeat every day, okay? And then you could start, after like maybe a week, you could do them every second day, you know? You're basically doing spaced repetition, so that's sort of how I'm approaching it. I'm doing spaced repetition with my hand drawing. And then I'm also experimenting with other hands to see which ones I actually find really appealing. And then I'm going to circulate those into my repetition like thing. I'm not like tracking the days I'm training those hands. I'm kind of doing it a little bit arbitrarily. But I've done like a lot of like Anki study when I was doing Japanese back in the day. So I'm just basically doing the same thing, just with less computer generated SRS and just manual SRS based off of like vibes. Which is not as great, but you know. I ain't got time for all that, you know? Warm, safe place by Stain. I will say, guys, if you guys want to make sure that your actual song queues up, but that is your actual song, Pressure to Succeed, but the bot handles Spotify links way better than it will just typing in a name. Sometimes if you type in a name, it won't necessarily find the exact song, it'll queue up some random shit. So just something to note. Damn, we got the double stain. Crazy. But yeah, anyways. Today might be a tight 3-hour stream, just because, like I said, I'm feeling a little cranky. I don't know if I really want to be live too long. I was debating canceling my stream just because I'm not, like, in the most chipper mood in the world. which is abnormal for me these days because I feel like I've been so positive lately. But today, just not in the greatest headspace. So we're probably gonna have a tight 3. Just like me and Chat's moms, okay? All 3 of them. Oh, you don't have to, by the way, Pressure, your song was already queued up. You don't have to re-add it with the Spotify link. It's just for future reference. You know, I'm gonna take that second one out of the queue just because it's in there twice now. Unless you intended for it to be in there twice. But dang. No worries. You're good, dog. Guys, I want to know, what are your burning questions, okay? Because I've been doing, I'm on that fucking YouTube tip, dude. I've been spinning and grinding on that YouTube tip, crazy style, all right? And I'm wondering if there's any thoughts or things that you guys think that you would like to learn and explore in terms of art. I also started streaming recently, and people watching me draw. A draw makes my palms sweaty. For me, it just makes me insanely unproductive. It doesn't really make me nervous. I just feel like I don't get shit done because I'm talking so much, you know? I would have been done this fucking sleep by now if I wasn't yapping constantly. That's sort of my downside. But I've also been doing it for 1.5 years now, so I think when I first started out, I got a lot of anxiety pressure to succeed whenever I would, like, go live. You'd be staring at that live button being like, man, I could just not go live, you know? And then I wouldn't be as stressed. I don't have to sit here for 3 hours. And I think that build-up, that inertia anxiety of building up to an action is, like, worse than when you're actually live. Because I feel like once you're live, it's actually pretty chill. So if you ever feel that, my recommendation would be set a schedule. Because it removes the friction over time. Once you acclimate to your schedule and your habit, going live just becomes secondary. And stick to that schedule like it's your religion, dude. Like, I'm here at 12, or I guess 5:30 on Fridays and Mondays, but on the dot, you know, and I don't play with that. I'm not late. I'm sometimes like a couple minutes early, but that's about it. I might stream the cleanup of the animation I submitted. Hell yeah, dude. Do it up. Damn it, now I need to come up with a schedule. I think a schedule helps better because it gives you your routine. I think it really, really has helped me sort of stick to this shit. I would have probably fallen off after 6 months if I didn't switch to a schedule. Because if you give yourself too much freedom, at least if I give myself too much freedom, I end up in a situation where I just don't really want to do something. If I don't have to do something that day, I just won't do it, you know? I don't need that down there. I don't need all that. But yeah, the YouTube stuff's been going good, guys. I've been doing it like 3 weeks now, I think, roughly, and it's been going good, you know? I know I talk about it a lot, but this is sort of how I integrate it into my personality. If I can talk it up in my head and I think of myself as the YouTube guy, I'm much more likely to keep at it, you know? That's my current YouTube research thing? What are you talking about? What is? Oh, I recently got an old CRT and an HDMI to AV converter, and I'm going to re-record my animations off the CRT screen. Oh, that's pretty cool, dude. That's fucking wild. That sounds fun. Very retro. I dig it. I played a lot of Melee growing up, so retro CRTs and shit are fucking... I just like the aesthetic a lot. If I do long-form content, I might explore with CRT stuff. Or just like CRT effects, you know? Bro, Disney put on like the longest song ever and then just like left. Why would he do that? Sade, how you doing? How you doing, girl? That is true. I saw a study on losing weight, and the consistent thing that people who managed to keep off of was their weight was they made being healthy and active person a personality trait that they constantly reaffirmed. Yeah, that's I mean that's how you integrate like any sort of major behavioral change. You literally have to delude yourself into, and I think we talked about it last time. Somebody said fake it till you make it, and that's essentially it. Okay. That's a little too even. I don't like that. See guys, this spacing on this and this is too even. I need more variety. Just don't really. Maybe we'll just leave that as one chunk. Or we'll move it over here and make this way smaller. Yeah, it's a little bit better. I don't like how these lines, this line and this line, are basically parallel. I'm good, and yourself? How's the art coming along? Oh, it's coming, dude. It's coming. Speaking of coming, how you doing, Beef? What's the rule? Like 21 days to create or break a habit? I think it's 8 weeks is what they say. Is like the standard. If you want to like stick, it's like for 8 weeks for the pain to stop being for it to stop being so like high friction for you to do. It could stick sooner, but it's still kind of like a little annoying to go through. Beef, whenever you spam emotes, all I see is Peepo happy 5 times, and rare parrot 5 times. Nice manly man drawing. Thank you. Nice pink girly name, dude. Also, I feel like every time I join your stream, you have like a new fucking PNG tuber outfit. What's going on? I would have said hi, but I found your VTuber booba and my inability to speak any Polish intimidating. Yeah, I feel like I annoy her chat, because I go in there and I speak English, and then she has to basically cater her stream to me, because because I'm a baby who doesn't speak Polish, and so she has to speak my freaking, my normie accent. Also, why not just stream in English? Your English is good enough, Beef. I just want more of like a curve in this arm here, you know? Now, I want this guy's hand to be resting on, like, a rapier or something like that, you know? I do like her voice in Polish, though. It's quite pleasant. Yeah, you have a voice for radio, dude. I'll tell you that. It's better to have a voice for radio than a face for radio, that's for sure. But okay, what? There we go. Can I burp in your DMs then? You send me weird shit anyways. If I say no, is that even gonna stop you? Do whatever you're gonna do, alright? Be free. I really don't like how this is folding. This is why I need to study folds. I just don't know how to intuitively do them. I've been told I have a pleasant voice, but that's because I'm British, and I feel like I managed to get the Queen's English accent a little bit, because my mom forced me to speak well. She forced you to speak proper. In it? Sorry, I'm gonna stop being racist now. Is it racist if it's accurate? Yeah, probably. If I did like the most perfect Indian accent and I spoke like that constantly, people would probably think it's racist even if it's impressive, you know? My dad sent a text inviting me and my siblings to my aunt's like Christmas thing on the 21st tomorrow, or on the 21st on Sunday. Sorry, on the 21st on Sunday, and he sent this like a month and a half ago, and my brother just responded now with okay. He's definitely my brother. I even do the bottle water thing unless I specifically choose to pronounce the T's. Very nice, dude. I can't do any like Eastern accents. I guess to me you're Eastern. I know you're like the UK and shit is still like considered part of the West, but in my mind, in my fucking westernized North American brain, you're Eastern. I wouldn't have even responded. I would have just shown up. My mom will ask me like what my plans are, like you know, like at the day before the actual plan she wants to get me to fucking do things for. And I'm never able to go because I always make other plans. And she's done this my whole life, you know? Dude, how the fuck? I gotta use reference for this. I can't freestyle this hand. Let me find reference. Hand on rapier. Hand on rapier. How to hold a rapier. I don't need a tutorial, dog. Just give me the fucking hand. Pinterest. Dude, rapier guards are fucking sick looking. Oh my god. Why are these so swag? What the fuck? I should have put the rapier on the other side. Now I regret not putting the rapier on the other side. Look how fucking swaggy. Look how drippy this shit is, dude. Let me show you. Look at these rapier, like holders. Isn't that shit drippy as fuck? That shit looks so sick. I'm trying to get this transmission done, then I can leave. Working man, dude. This boy don't got soft hands, I'll tell you that. It's so drippy. I also feel like I should do this on another layer. Actually, I am on another layer. All the belts look like something out of Guilty Gear. They're so sick, dude. Also, how you doing, Basic Not Acidic? I'm gonna... Man, do I just make a call and put it the other way? The angle is like a little odd. It like stops basically at the hip here. I do think it would look better on the other side, unfortunately. Unless this guy's double rapiered up, but then that kind of looks stupid. There's too much, like, twinning in that case. Avail, how's it going? Dude, I did not know it was pronounced Gerudo, by the way. I always assumed it was Gerudo. Or no, other way around, sorry. I always assumed it was Gerudo. I didn't know it was pronounced Gerudo. Just for the record. Also, guys, if ever I drop a YouTube reel or a short or a YouTube short or an Instagram reel or TikTok or whatever the fuck, if I ever do that and I call Link Zelda, I promise I'm just rage baiting. These shorts you've been making are really raking in the views. You'll be in the big league soon. You think so, Ketamine Huffer over on YouTube? I feel like for shorts, honestly, I feel like hitting like 10k views is like not really that crazy. You know what's crazier? The fucking monetization amount you need to make to be able, like the amount of views you need to be monetized off of shorts alone. So I'm probably gonna have to switch to long form content because there's like no financial incentive for me to really continue shorts on YouTube. TikTok and shit, there's still no financial incentives because I live in Canada, so I can't actually fucking get paid off TikTok. Because Canadians aren't allowed to be part of the creator fund, because TikTok hasn't expanded to Canada, so. Do you think it would be beneficial to make downloadable resources for your art-related videos? Yeah, I mean, look, I've been saying this for years now. I gotta stop being such an art brain dude and actually start being like a business brain dude, and I feel like I gotta start trying to figure out how to make money. And so I kind of want to make a course. But I want to actually like get some credibility on YouTube, you know, see if I get some traction going first. And then maybe after like a year, I'll start selling a course, you know. But I also want my course to be legitimate. I don't want to be one of those guys who sells like a fucking course that's like bullshit. You know what I mean? I don't want to scam people. I want my course to actually be something I believe in. And so, but that is something that I sort of want to build up to. But the nice thing about the YouTube shorts is it kind of like forces me to do a lot of research on these things, so. But yeah, dude, to get monetized on YouTube with shorts, you need to hit 10 million views in 90 days. Isn't that fucked? That's so fucked. Who can pull 10 million, like, shorts views in the art category in 90 days to be monetized? Yeah, so there's two there's two avenues to be monetized on YouTube. So, Avenue 1 is long form. And that, all you need is 4,000 watch hours. Which is basically like 2 or 3 10-minute videos. Want me to make a bot? No, because then what happens if you bot, then your thing gets removed from the algorithm, because YouTube has detectors for bots, so don't bot me. They'll actually ruin my channel. Dude, that's fucking insane. Yeah, so Avenue 1 is 4,000 watch hours, which is basically, like, if I did like 2 10-minute videos and they each hit like 20k views, that would probably monetize me, I would assume, if I had to do the math. Which is realistic. I could probably do that, I think. Within the next year, I could probably do that. And the thing is, this 4,000 watch hours is within 365 days. So a full year to hit 4,000 watch hours. That's not bad. That's doable. Avenue 2 is 10 million shorts views in 90 days. Okay? That's fucking crazy, dude. Nobody's gonna do that. Unless you're doing like fucking like bullshit like bait content, AI shorts. Yeah, that's me, dude. I'm gonna start doing AI shorts. No wonder there's so many companies around content farming. Yeah. Well, that's also why I have to use like clickbaity shit, you know? I can't just do like boring stuff because the algorithm doesn't like the algorithm works in not mysterious ways, thank God. There's actually a lot of explanations that are valid as to how it works, and I've seen it in action on the background. But basically what YouTube does, it takes your video, and I talked about this a little bit last year. It takes your video, it gives it to a test audience. And your test audience, that looks like a titty. I'm not going to do that. It sends it out to a test audience all around you. Now this looks like a butthole, whatever. We're going with this. We're doing the butthole analogy. It sends it out to your subscribers, okay? So that's the first test, is it sends it out to your subscribers, okay? And then from there, if that works well, then what it does is it expands the reach to people who also consume content in your niche but aren't subscribed to you. And then if it works well there, then it's expanded to a broader and broader audience, and that's how you go viral. So you have to go through all of these filters along the way to basically get to the next level of virality. And what you'll see is if you look at your views, usually what they'll look like is they'll look like this, and then they'll look like this, and then they'll look like this, and then like this, and like this. And it's because they're every single time it starts to flatline, they're going through these filters and they're testing if they want to push out your content to the next filter. So the algorithm's like fairly understood by YouTubers. So that's legit. Dr. G, you rain little old me. Shit. We were just talking about YouTube and content farming. By the way, guys, if you don't know Dr. G, Dr. Griswold is a streamer here on Twitch. Fantastic streamer. Okay. Lately, she's been pumping out titty content, and I think she's going into furry not safe for work territory. So if you've been trying to harass me to get you to draw your hairy little furry smut, okay, and I've been saying no because I have strong morals and values, well, Dr. Griswold doesn't have those. So you can go to Dr. Griswold and commission her to do your sick little twisted art. She's a fantastic artist, dude. Genuinely. I think you guys should all go visit her website. It will cost you. It will cost you, but you are genuinely cracked, so I think it's worth every penny, guys. Let's give her a little shout out. Great advertising. Oh, you know it, dude. But yeah, so if you've been trying to get me to draw your jerk-off art, and I've been telling you to fuck off and banning you, Dr. Griswold is a much more open-minded person than me, and she will draw all kinds of crazy shit, alright? The crazier the better, she's told me, actually. That's not true, but, you know, whatever. Anyways, with that, how's your stream, Dr. G? How you doing? Oh, I finished Noel. Is it cool to share here? Mostly because I want to show you, Snack. I'll DM it to you. Yeah, you can DM it to me. You can link it to me. Whatever, dude. You can DM it to me. It makes me feel special that way. It feels like I have a little secret network of Twitch streamers that I'm friends with. But yes, and then I'll pull it up. You said you wanted to share? You're totally cool to share. I was going to ask, but I was too distracted by my impeccable advertising. I just checked and the art is pretty smoking hot. She's good, dude. Dr. G's fucking cracked. Honestly, one of the better artists here on Twitch. There are a lot of fantastic artists and Dr. G's up there. Slept on, dude. IMO, of course, in my humble opinion. IMHO. No worries, you're doing me solid after solid. I'm not gonna make a joke off that. It's too easy. Anyways, we were talking about business. Bleh, barf. Everybody hates business talk. But we were talking about the YouTube algorithm 2 seconds ago. And how I suck at drawing hands right now. But how you doing, Yora VT? How's it going, Chi Chi? How's it going, Nixtradamus? I know you. I know you, Neek. The other half calf? What's the cath short for? Hopefully not catheter. I hope it's like Catherine or something. That makes sense. It's probably not catheter. Not business before Christmas? How's it going here? It's chilling, dude. We're going. Those words should have been swapped. I should have said it's going and we're chilling, but... Alright, we got a DM here. Alright, check this shit out, guys. By the way, Dr. G, I gotta ask. How much Leyendecker inspiration did you have going into this? I feel like you're a Leyendecker lover. I gotta move this up the layers because it's being covered by my sketchy bullshit. Merry Christmas. Dude, you draw fast. I was watching her stream earlier when she was doing this. And like this section up here was like, this would take me 4 hours to do. I'm not even joking. I'm like the slowest artist ever, dude. My existence is Leyendecker inspiration? Yeah, I figured. I could see it. It's sick, dude. Dr. G, if they want to commission you, where could they do it? I'm just wondering because I don't know. And I feel like if I don't know, it's guaranteed Chad doesn't know because I know everything and Chad doesn't. So I think if you have any idea where they could go to DM you or commission you, you should probably link it, I think. You could commission me at drgriswold.com. Would you look at that, guys? There's a link there where you can go DM her and go pay money and get a drawing. A pretty beautiful drawing. And don't let this human deter you guys. I'm pretty sure she is delving into furry territory. Alright? Her words, not mine. I could be the poor street urchin that belittles in the beginning and then turns around to be incredibly generous to... What are we talking about? Whoa, that's really good. I love the swooshy hair and fabric. That's what I'm saying, dude. Very flowy. Kastak's gonna become one of those evil businessmen that forgets the spirit of Christmas and neglects their wife? I don't have a wife. So... But, you know, if I could neglect Christmas, I would. I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of a Scrooge. I just feel like I don't get enough time off to myself. I don't want to spend my holidays fucking going to, like, my sisters, then my cousins, then my moms, then my dad's. If my family wasn't divorced, it would be awesome. And if my sister wasn't, like, way older than me, where she has her own, like, family that I have to visit, it would also be way awesome. But because they're all spread out, I gotta fucking do the same shit 10 times in a row. It eats up my entire, like, time off. The other half calf, I'll be lurking, have a nice stream. Thank you for popping in. Hopefully I didn't insult you, but have a good day and enjoy your lurk. He already neglects me. That's true. I can't believe he forgot I'm his wife. I don't remember that. He birthed me? Yeah, from my asshole. Alright. I'm gonna move Dr. G's stuff right here just so I can see my full guy here, because otherwise I'm not gonna know what I'm doing. Dr. G, if you gotta leave, you gotta go eat, you gotta go do whatever, don't feel like you gotta hang out here. And one last time, guys, go follow Dr. G, go check her out on Twitch, she's awesome. Fantastic artist. Dude, get that shit off the canvas, get your workspace clear. My workspace is not clear, dude. I got shit fucking everywhere here. I got some painting that I did like a week ago still there that it's not even done. There's still a lot of shit to do. I got this guy with the friggin' belly and the rapier. And I got random hands that I was doing. I don't know, dude. I think your art could stay. It's fine. I'll survive. We'll get rid of it later. He'd sell your tears to a salt firm. I don't think you would produce enough to be like marginally viable for me. Sorry. The opportunity cost. It's just like way too high. Oh my god, I was on Grizz's stream and I got thrown out onto another channel. I was so confused. Very tragic to appear in my channel of all places. I'm really sorry you have to go through that. But yes, Dr. Griswold did raid me, and she's left you here. Anyways, hi, I'm Fiddle. What up, Fiddle? I'm Snack. No, 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 no. Yes, yes, yes. Neek, enjoy your lurk. Jelky, thank you. Wait, Jalisi? Sorry. Oh, fuck, dude. Jalisi, thank you for the follow. Oh, shit. Alright, Jelky from now on, I think. I was supposed to... Sorry. That was a really bad fumble. I was supposed to go here, but I got thrown away into another channel? No way, dude. You're just getting tossed all over the place. And now you're hanging out with me? Shit, I'm blushing. That's crazy. Freudian slip. You know, I had a phase when I was like 14 where I tried jelking and then I realized it was bullshit. Okay? So don't waste your time, guys. It's the mewing of penises. I don't think you need to bother. You're stuck with what you're stuck with, you know? I came back when I heard there was historical stuff. You heard about... We were talking about history? What were we talking... Oh, were we talking about Leyendecker? Did I just Dr. Grizz artwork? You did just Dr. Grizz artwork. Her Dr. Grizz is right here. And there's her artwork. Some of the stuff you say just takes me out of my workflow so hard. What, you don't like the snack lore? Alright, I'll keep my stories myself then. I see how it is. I did see this, like, Asian martial art where they train by getting kicked in the balls, so you never know what might work. The steel ball technique. It's a forbidden jutsu. I don't think you can do that one. No, don't stop. I'm sorry. Alright, well then we're gonna make it so much worse now. No, I'm just kidding. I really don't have much... That just popped into my head. Because I remember doing it for like 2 days. I was like, this is fucking stupid. It's basically, for those who don't know what jelking is, guys, it's basically getting yourself like half hard. This is for the fellas, by the way. This ladies, I'm sorry. You can tune out for 2 seconds. Or just understand the mind of a teenage boy, okay? But jelking is essentially stroking your shit while not getting fully hard. There were like a bunch of online forums in like the early like 2000s or like mid 2000s clocking out for a few seconds as for the best. There were like some forums in the early 2000s where guys, this was when the internet was really early, and there were fucking there were forums of dudes that would swear this would grow your dick like 3 inches. This was before like there were like debunkers and like, yeah, forums. YouTube didn't exist back then, okay? This was pre 2006. Actually, how old would I have been? When would I have been 14? Maybe it would have been a little later, actually. It would have been like 2009-ish. Something like that. YouTube would have been 2 years old. Or 3. I can't remember. Did it start in 2008 or 6? Is that how you become a wizard? No, that's by playing Wizard Sticks. That's a different game. I'll tell you. I have a story about that one, too. Do you need to pay for the online course? For the online course. Oh, like the course that I want to put together? When I was going, like, when I was talking about being business-brained or whatever? Probably. I probably will charge for it. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do a course yet. This is not going to be for, like, a solid year or so. I'm just really focusing on the YouTube stuff to see if I can get that off the ground first. And then from there, if I can get some traction on YouTube, from there what I'll do is I'll consider doing courses. My thing is I don't want to make a bullshit course. I would rather really have like a solid course that I strongly believe in than just sell crap, you know? It's sort of my conundrum. Oh, I thought I was just trying to yank it longer. The real thing makes less sense. Yeah, I would draw you guys a diagram of how it's supposed to work, but I like being on Twitch, so I don't want to get banned. No, I was probably talking about their penis training course. To be fair, ladies, do weird sex training shit as well. There are Benoit balls and stuff. If I Google that, how much like traumatizing content am I gonna see if I Google Benoit balls? I've never heard of that in my life, dude. The thing with women that's terrifying, by the way. Okay, as a guy, it's terrifying. I feel like a lot of people don't realize how fucking crazy like the lady mind work it like operates. I feel like guys are like normal horny on like a consistent basis, but women are like unhinged horny, dude. Like when chicks get horny, it's like scary shit, you know? Like they read fucking Eternal Monster Fuck Smut like because they have like those deep desires. Crazy. I'm way out of my depth right now. I'm just gonna look up what Benoit balls are and shut up. Give me a second here. I didn't sleep very well last night. Benoit balls. Okay, so it's Benoit, are separate words. Small weighted spheres inserted into the vagina, primarily used for strengthening the pelvic floor muscles through Kegel exercises. These are just anal beads, dude. They're just pussy anal beads. They're pussy beads. Alright, whatever, dude. Quite the gym routine, but, you know, who am I to judge? Hey, Snack, what up, Sam? How you doing, big dog? Okay, his forearm's too short here. I need to figure out how to foreshorten this. This is my type of stream. Oh, yeah. How did you say, pronounce your name again? It was... I'm scrolling up because you said Fiddle. Fiddle. I was gonna call you Fajilled. Fiddle. The J is silent and the L and the D are swapped. I'll remember that probably. Doing okay? A little tired? How come? Okay, I do want him to actually have his hand resting on a rapier. I'm just gonna scribble the hand for now, and then we'll figure out the rest later. Something like that, maybe. They asked me fiddle the diddle in the street. They call me fiddle the diddle in the streets. Don't ask how I got that name. I was gonna say that earlier, but I didn't think we know each other well enough for me to call you a diddler. That would be weird. Who's calling you that? Yeah, and what exactly did you do to earn that rep? I know you said don't ask, but I kind of gotta. I'm scared to ask what they call you in the sheets. My TikTok friends are freaksters. Nah, I'm on TikTok. I don't get sheets. Is that like a Google Sheets reference? I don't know. My fucking boomer ass brain thinks that's funny, if that's what that was, but... This guy's cape would be sort of extending out of here if I give him a cape. Nah, it's a I'm a virgin joke. It's okay, dude. We're all virgins at some point in time. Your time will come. Literally. This is also a good time to mention, if it's not obvious, that we are an 18+ stream. So if you are under the age of 18, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Or tell us, and then my mods will ban you. Beautiful drawings. Thank you, Now Galahad. I think I call you Neo Galahad, but... Bro, that character looks so sick. The expression's so smug. I like the sideburns. I like the, like, spiky sort of, like, sideburns he's got going on. The mutton chop type thing. I like that touch. How you feeling about TikTok, Mr. Snack? Your last video kind of popped off. I like it. I mean, I like it. It's fun, I guess. It doesn't really convert to Twitch at all, though. Like, I haven't gotten a single new follower since I posted those videos. At all. Like, not one. And in that recent video that I got, like, I don't know, like 17K viewers or something, and I had my Twitch handle in it, didn't get a single follower on Twitch. So, the conversion from Twitch to, like, TikTok is just not great. So, basically, I think you have to treat all the platforms as, like, their own little ecosystems, and then just sort of, figure it out from there. Yeah, I think, but you're not plugging your Twitch that much in the video, so I wouldn't expect it, though. Yeah, it's because I don't like, sort of, I feel like blatant sort of calls to, what is it called, call to action or whatever. I think, like, blatant sort of being like, follow me here, or like and subscribe. I think it ruins the flow of a short in particular. I think it's fine to do in, like, this is all theoretical, okay? I'm still just trying to learn the algorithm. But I feel like, for a long-form video, it's normal. It's expected. It's, like, etiquette-wise, it's not that weird to do that. I think in a short, because you've got about 50 seconds to talk to them, if you fill 10 or 15 of those seconds with just being like, hey, by the way, guys, if you need to follow me, you can follow me here on Twitch, blah, 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 blah. It's just like, I feel like I would just stop watching the second that happens. And I think that's the issue with a lot of, like content creators on Twitch that do, like, shorts content, is I think they do it with the mentality of basically creating advertisements for their Twitch. But I think that should be really secondary. I think that should be a passive effect. I think you should really focus on creating good content or valuable content. And then I think eventually, if people want to transfer over, they will. But I know for a fact that just, like, the people who consume short-form content like TikTok don't typically consume long-form content like streams. So it is, like, it's not, like... I really think the whole, like, the meta that people talk about, where they're like, yeah, you have to promote your content through shorts. I really think that's overhyped. I don't think that's that legit, to be quite honest. I don't think there's a massive conversion between the two. And I think the examples that people list are, like, if you look at, like, the fucking guy who won VTuber of the Year or whatever, Burnt Peanut. Like, that guy's content on TikTok is funny. And so I can see why people would want to go, like, he's got a good niche, and it's very obvious that he streams through his content. And so I think that's, like, probably a good, like, I think you should just focus on making good, entertaining content that provides people value, and then people will eventually gravitate towards your Twitch if they want to. I think if you shove it in their face in short-form content, it's probably not gonna work very well. And that's why my recent video, I didn't actually verbally say anything. I just sort of added, like, a little logo that slides in for 5 seconds. And I think that's enough, you know? Keep posting on TikTok and you'll see the ball start to kind of roll. Maybe a follow here and there. Your activity feed will start to become a bit more active as the weeks go off, I think. Actually, I find, I mean, you're probably not wrong long term, but I find TikTok kind of burns bright. So if you look at YouTube, like, analytics, I gotta find room to, like, do a little graph here. But if you look at, like, views over time, like, let's say this is, like, the x-axis on the bottom here is your views over time. So this is time down here. So let's say day 0, then day 1, right? 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Your views will kind of do this. So they'll go up, 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 up. They'll keep going up, 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 and then they'll start to taper off on YouTube. And that's sort of how it happens. And to me, it's happened consistently like this around day 5, where it tapers off. Day 4 or 5, it'll taper off, and I'll basically get, like, no new views per day. On TikTok, it's very weird. On TikTok, I'll do it in a different color just so you can see. It literally is just this. That's literally what my, like, views over time look like on TikTok. Super strange. And it's been like that with every single video. And I think I looked it up, and it's pretty common for the algorithm to do that. You burn really bright. I should actually redo this, because it goes way higher. Like, you burn really, really bright, and then you just sort of die off. And it's just sort of, that's sort of how it seems to work. There's no, like, I mean, you have, like, a steady decline or whatever, but it's not, like, it's very rapid. And so, TikTok, you get a lot of your views in the very first day, I've noticed, and then YouTube, you sort of get, like, a trickle effect, and the algorithm could pick it back up, so you get sort of these, like, little bumps here and there. Do you think a video doing critiques would work well as a short? I'm not really fully convinced. I think right now I've got a formula that I think can keep working, and I think I've got an idea to keep it working based off of my last short. I think right now my theory is, and I'm gonna keep testing this out, I think if you use examples by introducing real-world known IPs, like my last video on silhouettes, I mentioned, I brought up Link from The Legend of Zelda. I brought up Bowser. I brought up Pikachu. I brought up Isabelle. And I used all of these to list off examples, right? Or to make comparisons to them. And I think because I'm using nostalgic, well-known IPs as examples to sort of back up a lot of the substance that I add, I think it'll elicit stronger emotional ties to the video. And I have a theory that that's sort of why that video did better than other ones. I think the pacing was also a lot tighter than my other ones. I didn't let myself sort of ramble on as much, and I was a lot more, I was a lot cleaner with the cuts and sort of the information I was providing. So I'm gonna try and keep those two things in mind going forward, and try to apply that into the next short as well, and see if that carries over in the momentum. That's sort of my plan. I love you, Snack. Getting a little parasocial, aren't we? Yamet Shivayev or whatever. I can't remember what that means. Well, no, I remember what it means. I can't remember how to say it. I saw Link and immediately I was hooked, bruh. I'm a Zelda fan. A lot of people love that rap boob. Yeah, that's another thing. So there's the big note that I said was like drawing in people with examples from existing IPs because it breeds familiarity. There's this thing called this. What is it? Is it the fucking Zard? The Zeigarnik effect. Zeigarnik effect. Okay, so basically, it's humans have this psychological tendency towards getting frustrated if they are left on a cliffhanger. And that's why every single reel, it's based in psychology, and advertisers and stuff like that use it all the time, which is why you see a lot of like popular content do this constantly, where they use the Zeigarnik effect is what it's called, where they essentially like they'll drop a hook at the start. So an example of a hook would be like there's this one trick that nobody uses that will radically revolutionize the way you do so and so, or blah blah blah. Right? That's like an example of like the Zeigarnik effect. At this point in time, people are curious. And then you don't jump directly into explaining it. You provide sort of a little bit more context and then you jump into the substance. Now, that provides a hook, and I think that gets people to sort of consume your content, or at least give it a longer viewing time than you would normally get. Combine that with the IPs, the IP familiarity, and to your point with the boobs and the mouse, I think one thing I was making a mistake of in my earlier videos that I think we did really, really well this time, is the boobs I don't think can be in every shot. I think they should be in a single shot at peak sort of like comedic timing almost, to sort of reset to shock the brain a little bit. Because I think if I use it in every shot, it's just kind of like, oh, this is the mouse with tits or whatever. But I think if it's just like selectively used in very specific moments in a short, it can really sort of help give like a new dopamine spike or a new hook into the short. So I think I'm going to be using those sort of midway through my shorts, and just for individual shots. So I'm really sort of thinking about this from all angles. But and another thing, going back to the what is it called? What was it called again? The Zeigarnik effect? Whatever. Going back to the hook. If you want to avoid pissing off your audience, you need to make sure that your payoff to your hook is good. If I say, you know, you're never gonna believe this one trick that nobody uses, blah blah blah. You know, I make some claim, or I'm gonna teach you this one super secret technique that's gonna change everything. And then the technique is basically like, oh, did you know that if you, I don't know, fucking, if I just start talking about my dog, okay, and just be completely unrelated, I'm going to maximize people hating me and not wanting to consume my content, because the hook promise doesn't match the payoff or the value provided. And so that's something that I think about a lot when I'm producing these hooks, is how am I going to deliver on them? And I think that's a big part of creating these sort of shorts that are doing, in my case, I mean, I'm not going like crazy super viral, but 16, 17K views is pretty decent. And so I think, you know, the more I can refine this formula, the better it'll get. And I don't know how it's going to translate to long form, so we'll see. But that's, yeah, if you're like, go to part 2 for the answer, you're just going to piss people off. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, stuff like that. Or if you, like, you talk the whole way through the video and you never actually get to the thing. Maybe you'll get them to watch the whole way through, but they're going to lose trust in you as a creator. And so I think, you know, when it comes to hooks and clickbait, it really is sort of like a fine line between you and your audience, where you want to sort of respect that relationship. Like, you want to utilize it, right? But you don't want to abuse it. And I think that's sort of my philosophy on it. And so if I'm doing like very clickbaity shit, guys, just know that from my perspective, I am trying to sort of deliver on it. I'm not trying to, I don't want to fuck people over. It's just part of the game, unfortunately. It's just the way it is. If there weren't like retention-focused algorithms that are there to like fucking content farm you, or like engagement farm off of you, then, you know, this shit wouldn't matter. But unfortunately it does, because that's just sort of what the algorithm rewards. I feel like it's gonna be one of those things the people who are too locked in on the video won't notice, and then they'll read the comments and be like, wait, what, boobs? Yeah, but that's good, because then they go back and they rewatch it, right? And I had some comments in there on TikTok in particular where people were like, I didn't even notice the boobs the first time. I think some guy said that or some shit, but I will say it very much does depend on your audience. My boomer mom will force all the retention tricks, and she sucks at using the internet. My boomer mom falls for all of the retention tricks, and she sucks at using the internet. So you could probably use some of the more simple stuff to get some more people hooked. My demographic's probably going to be people from like 18 to my age, more or less. And that's sort of what it shows on a lot of the social medias I post on, is that my demographic is basically 18 to like 35-year-olds. And in that range, they're going to be a lot more savvy, and it's going to be a lot more difficult to get them to fall for shit. Like, if I'm using like Pikachu and fucking, you know, like Link from Zelda or whatever in my shorts, that's not gonna resonate with a boomer audience. They're not gonna know who that is. They might know who Pikachu is, but they're not gonna give a fuck, you know? So I have to keep in mind that the audience I'm catering to is a lot more savvy. Claims he tries to deliver on the clickbait, doesn't deliver on the furry part. Sorry to disappoint. Okay. Zelda from Mario Tennis. I did float the idea of rage baiting the fuck out of people by referring to Link as Zelda, but I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know if that's a good idea yet. I think if I have more content out there where people know my personality, they'll probably know I'm trolling. But I think, like, doing it this early on, people are just gonna think I'm a moron. Listen, negative interaction is still interaction. I did realize that when I compared, I said that Isabelle was cute and harmless in my last video, because everybody kept telling me that she's actually evil and hunts demons and is apparently married to the fucking Doom guy. How the fuck was I supposed to know any of this shit? I'm not chronically online like Chad, I guess. Whole offense. But yeah, no, I don't know if I want to clickbait that way, you know, or like rage bait. That would be rage bait, because I know every single comment would be like, it's not Zelda, it's Link, you fucking moron. Which would be really funny, but at the same time, I don't know. My most popular reel on Instagram was a video where I started posting 3D models on a canvas. Wasn't cheating. I have strong opinions about that. I don't think it's cheating, but I definitely have strong opinions about that. I think there's a time and place for it, right? My whole philosophy on like 3D models and stuff is, first of all, if you're posing out the model and stuff, I don't really give a shit. That said, if you're using it and you're tracing over it, there's nothing wrong with tracing over a 3D model that you posed yourself. I think the issue comes where if you're tracing over like a pre-existing model, or you know you're tracing over other artwork, tracing over like a model you posed and positioned yourself is not that bad. The downside though is you're kind of turning your brain off and you're just not getting a lot of value out of it. The indignance was, my god. Did you get a lot of hate comments? I will say I've had like I haven't had any hate comments. I had a lot of people basically like I've had some people basically call me a gooner avatar, which I guess is kind of true in a way. It's a parody. It's ironic, all right. I don't have. Why do I still have the tits out? I gotta put them away, dude, because people literally think this is just my default state. The one comment that I had that was a negative comment that actually triggered the fuck out of me was some guy trying to tell me that the term pipette was used incorrectly, because he said like in a lab, a pipette is like a medical tool for like very precise like chemical measurements, which is true, by the way, but it also applies to just general like liquid like transferal devices, you know. But it's also a French word, and I'm French. Anyways, that was the most rage-inducing comment I had, which is probably very good, because that means I'm not getting a lot of rage bait. But the actually has definitely pissed me off a little bit. But I just replied with nuh-uh. That's it. I'm not gonna fight with rage baiters, you know. Want me to stalk his account? No, don't go fucking, don't go harass people yet. Yeah, I say yet, like I'm gonna tell you guys to do it later. Don't harass people at all. I should have said that. I did indeed get a lot of people being like, "You're wrong, shut up." What was your opinion? I had posted it from a genuine place, given the nature of the reel, posting it and whatnot, and even posted a time lapse of how I used it so people could see how I was correcting anatomy on it. I just had as many people coming into the comments being like, "No, you shut up." People in the industry photo bash. Were you pro or anti using 3D models? I think a lot of people are protective of using 3D models because it's become sort of like I really think it's like become popular in the last like couple years, and it's sort of like a new gen thing where I feel like Dr. Grizz, you're close to my age, I think, right? Like I'm like 31. I feel like our generation, like that shit is like haram, dude. That shit's like taboo, you know? I would say I'm pro, but not for beginners, if that makes sense. You'd say, look, I think it's a totally valid tool to use if, like, let's say you're a mangaka and you have like really tight deadlines, and you need to bang out a shit ton of poses really fast. Tons of value. If you're using it as a crutch to avoid learning anatomy, that's I think where the problem is. That's sort of my issue with it. I don't have any issue with people using it. I feel like I have like that boomer instinct to kind of roll my eyes at it a little bit, but I know that like morally speaking, there's nothing really wrong with it. It's just sort of, I feel like you're stunting your development by not sort of committing to gaining the knowledge yourself. But I can imagine photo bashing being very useful for brainstorming. Photo bashing is fantastic, right? For that. I've never personally used it, but I know it's used a lot in concept art. And photo bashing back in the day was also very controversial. A lot of people back in the day would bitch about photo bashers, saying it was basically plagiarism and all this stuff. So it's like, you know, it just every generation's gonna have their new thing. I've never used 3D models myself, but I can see how it could be helpful. But if you don't know the human anatomy, how the human anatomy body works, you just make a pose yourself. It's not gonna look natural. Yeah, that's another thing, right? It's like I could use a 3D model or whatever, but then I'm not gonna know which muscles overlap what. You know, if you give me like a ball and cylinder which is essentially what a 3D model arm is going to look like. It's just going to look like a cylinder and a ball. And then you say, like, okay, draw a shoulder over top of that. Well, I'm like, if I'm a beginner artist, I'm not going to know how to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to know that, okay, when the shoulder sort of goes over top, it's going to wrap down. The apex of the curve is going to be a little bit higher because of the perspective. It inserts midway on, like, the humerus bone here. And then, you know, you're not going to know that your bicep actually overlaps and inserts inside here. Also on the... I think it inserts partly on the humerus as well. And then you're not going to know that your like pectoral muscle also inserts in here. Like, all these things, all these overlaps where this line crosses that line, this is all going to be lost on a beginner artist. And that's sort of the danger of neglecting or taking crutches as a shortcut to learning the anatomy, right? So that's sort of my gripe with it. I don't have any issues in terms of like process and like efficiencies. I just think if you're using it from the get-go, which is what I assume a lot of beginner artists do, you're stunting your growth in a way. That's sort of it. Kids these days don't want to draw 100 naked people to learn anatomy. That's true. Back in my day, I had to sit in my basement with my fucking little graphicless Wacom, drawing men with their cocks out for hours a day while my mom walked by doing laundry, wondering what the fuck I was doing, and if I was gay. I'm not. To be fair, I did learn most anatomy in the upper torso and head, and then I got lazy when it came to the legs, and I was like, cylinders will do. But yeah, I mean, everybody's gonna have sort of their blank spots. But you do sort of have to lock in eventually and learn this shit. And that's sort of how I feel with, like, folds. I still guess folds a lot, and I feel like I need to go on my fucking training arc for folds, where I just bang as many out as I can. I'm pretty solid at anatomy at this point, but folds are definitely a weakness of mine. But yeah, so... But yeah, so Dr. G, was your reel from the perspective of saying you shouldn't use 3D models? You're giving me an idea for a reel now. I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna steal your idea, and I'm gonna poo-poo. I'm gonna basically say what I said now on using 3D models, because I feel like I've been seeing a lot of people sort of like recommending 3D models. Here, I can give you the reel. Do it, dude. Send it to me. I've seen a lot of people starting to talk about 3D models, and I feel like, you know, there's positives, but I think we can't ignore the negatives. To me, I feel like 3D models are probably like steroids, where it's like you'll get a massive boost of strength and size, but then if you stop taking them, you just sort of revert back. You like shrink. You're like fucking All Might, dude. Like going back to your initial state. Alright, let's take a look. I can't share it on screen. Actually, it's not gonna play because I have my. I'll watch it later. I'm gonna add it to our chat and I'll watch it later. Because right now I'm streaming on YouTube as well, and I have my audio channels for YouTube run differently. So if I pull up your Instagram reel, it's just gonna play on YouTube, and it's gonna be super weird. And it's just in the background. I'll send you here. I'll go leave a mean comment on it later. I'll go tell you how dumb and wrong you are. Shit, why am I still using red? I'm gonna be sad if you don't now. Oh, I'll fucking e-bully you, dude. We're gonna make it fucking... It's gonna be high school all over again. I'm gonna release the animal within. I recently had a friend show me how I used 3D models, and I was so conflicted. Like, it's a tool that you can definitely use, but it's just a person looks like they're about to fall over. And did you understand what you're working with, you know? I also think another thing, and this is to talk about reference a little bit. By the way, this is why I never get drawing done, because everything you guys say just triggers another fucking thought that I'm gonna chase like a dog. Chasing a squirrel, you know? But, what was I gonna say? I totally forgot. I fucking distracted myself. They're about to fall. Oh, yeah! They're about to fall over. Yeah, okay, so I think another thing that I really want to make a short on, and I don't know if this is going to be popular, but I think it's something that I think needs to be discussed. Not every reference is a good reference. I see a lot of people online doing like all of the doing these line of action poses and trying to use them for their their art or whatever. And some of these poses look cool and look really dynamic, but they don't translate well to clean art. And that's not to say that you can't make it work. You totally can, okay? You could probably make it work. But I think there are certain poses that are harder to work with than others, and I think it's really important as an artist to really be able to identify and train your eye between like a good reference that you can glean a lot of information from, and a complex reference that's just like overly complicated. You know those references, the ones I'm thinking about in particular are like the ones where there's like dudes up in the air and their fucking leg is like over here, and then their other leg is like doing this, and then this arm is like foreshortening towards the camera or whatever, and then this other arm is like all the way back here. It's like some crazy, insane Spider-Man pose with like no clear gesture or line of access going through it. It looks cool as fuck in a picture, but it's a lot harder to create like a strong art piece out of that. And again, it's not to say that you can't, but it's just you're making your life harder. Whenever I'm looking for references, I'm usually looking for strong axis lines. Like the cleaner and more direct the longest axis in the pose is, the better I would consider like the pose to be. Depending on what my goal is, I guess. But like in this case, like his strongest axis line is going from the head through to the toe, right? And then all this other stuff, it just sort of supports it. Like that arm coming in like that supports it. The leg kind of doesn't, I will say. I could, if I want to make it a little bit cleaner, I could bring the knee in, and I think it would redirect towards the face a little bit better. I might actually do that now that I'm thinking about it. Like his leg being side turned like this is not great for the gesture. I think if I brought the leg in a little bit more, it would serve the gesture a little bit better, just in terms of like visual clarity. But I don't know. Tangent into a tangent and forgetting a former tangent. Yeah, exactly. W takes from the snack. That's right. Could you do a short on good shapes versus bad shapes? No, I can't, because I don't really know the nuance yet. Dr. Grizz, if you have any idea on what makes a good shape versus a bad shape, I think shape clarity and like if I had to guess, avoiding symmetry in a shape is probably a good thing. So if I had like a shape like this, is always gonna feel flatter than a shape like this. You know? Like, this line's not necessarily straight, you know, or like, you're gonna get a little bit more dynamicism out of this. And then it's more like shape relationships. So if I have two shapes the exact same size next to each other like this, it's gonna feel a lot flatter than if I have two shapes of completely opposing forms next to each other. Right? Or something like that. Like, this combination is almost, not always, but almost always gonna be more appealing as a shape combination than this. Unless you're trying to serve a very specific purpose. In regard to what, there are a lot of different considerations. Yeah, watch your tangents if you want an organic look. Use organic shapes. Yeah, that's it. I don't think there's like a... The issue with that question, Jadu, is I don't think there's like a universal like technique. It's kind of like line art, where there's no real universal technique to what makes a good shape. It's really the relationships between all the things surrounding those shapes. It's kind of like color in that way. That's sort of how I would explain it. It's very similar to color relativity, where something will feel completely different if it's next to a warm or cool tone or whatever. Like, it's gonna completely shift your perception of it, right? And I will actually, this is on my list of shorts to make. You guys ever seen the color relativity illusions? What's a good idea? What's a good example? This is a good example. So this is an example of what I'm talking about color relativity. So if you look at this image here, both the squares in the middle here, like both this square here in the middle, and fuck, I'm gonna move it up so it's not covered. This square here and this square here are the exact same color. They're the exact same. But because they're surrounded by different like lighter values and darker values, they feel completely different to the eye, and it tricks your brain. Now, this still blows my mind, I know. Now, the issue is this is a low quality image I found on the internet, so it may not actually be a one-to-one when I carry it over, but I promise you this is a real thing in art. Yeah, see? I literally just selected this, copied and dragged it over. It's the exact same. See? See that? There's maybe slight changes here. I think this top part is a little darker in value, but in general, it's the same color, right? And so a lot of people don't really understand that. I think shapes are very similar in that sense, where shapes essentially sort of, they will morph and feel different depending on what you put next to it. And I find myself constantly changing my shapes. And what I find is sometimes the shape feels better or different based on the shape that I've just added or removed. The more you practice with this kind of stuff, the more you'll start to see how it works. Yeah, that and like I find refining your formula or your process also helps a lot too. I'm very bad at like organic color picking, so I have to rely on like color theory to make things look appealing. Because if I just sort of instinctively choose my colors, they're gonna be fucked up. But in this case, I know that like the color purple is on the opposite side of green on the color wheel, and so I know that these are gonna have like synergistic relationships. And I know that the purple is sort of in the same sort of monochromatic range as like the hues that I've chosen for the skin tone, and so I know that it's gonna work really well too, right? So those are sort of how I have to think about choosing color, because otherwise it just won't work. Glad, what up, old man? How you doing? Serge Rich here. How you doing, dog? What's up? We're doing little art rants and art tangents. How you doing? How you doing, Serge Rashir? What are you up to today? Let's get you a little shout out. Milky Opie, caffeinated vampires. Damn, I need to be a caffeinated vampire, dog. I'm certainly not one right now. Vixel, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Fish Shine, thank you for the follow. Serge Rashir, thank you for the follow. Smokin' Alistair, thank you for the follow. What were you guys up to today? Last category, art. Shit. Hey, Cats, what up, dog? How you doing?
Fuck.
Your art is so good. Thanks. Thanks. This is my art. This is my art. This is actually somebody in chat right now named Dr. Griswold who rated us earlier. Fantastic artist. Last little shout out for her. If you guys want to go check out her work, if you like her stuff, this Leyendecker painted style stuff, she's doing comms right now. But yeah, Serge Rashir, you wanna tell me a little bit about you? What were you up to today, dude? What were you getting up to? Oh, you guys know each other? There you go. That makes my life way easier. No introductions required. Can I call you Drac? I was working on some redeems on my stream. Well, shit, dude. If you want to share anything, you're more than welcome to. You know the deal, dude. You know the freaking the raid deal. If you got a link or you could share some stuff, go crazy. Trying to mess with the values? You could call me Drac. Art tax? We call it art robbery around here, alright? Except we're benevolent robbers, so we let them leave if they don't want to give it up, but we will moan and mumble about it. I love your line art. Thanks, dog. I appreciate it. It's very sort of sketchy right now, especially on this girl. I don't know where I'm really gonna go with her. I also don't really like this arm, but Art Robin Hood, yeah. Steal from the rich and give to the poor. Chat, you guys are the poor in this case. And Sir Drac is a sir after all. He's a knight. He's been anointed, alright? This guy's definitely richer than us. But Sir Drac, if you want to share any links, if you want to tell people where they can follow you, if you want to just yap a little bit about what you do, you're more than welcome to. We were talking about social media, in particular, rage baiting on social media, because Dr. Griswold is a tier 1 rage baiter, apparently, on Instagram. And then we were talking about a weird art topics and themes and ideas and color relativity in particular. And sort of how these two shapes here, despite looking completely different, this one, I gotta do it in red so it's a little more apparent. This one and this one, they are actually the exact same color. Isn't that crazy? Look at that. So that's sort of what we were talking about. How did you make your PNG? It's so freaking cool. I didn't make it, actually. I just paid someone to make it. My mod, Bobameyer, on my channel, made my PNG tuber. He's also a fantastic artist. Just a lot of fantastic artists all around. Oh, shit, we got a link. We got a link. Let me check out this link, dude. Oh, hell yeah. I love the painterly look. All right, let's pull this up. Check this out, chat. Whoa, this is fucking massive. Oh, no, never mind. I didn't actually... I'm selecting my entire canvas. I was like, I swear to God, I thought I copied and pasted it, but I guess not. Copy image. Paste. Okay, it is pretty big. Check this out, chat. I'm gonna move it up. We're running out of space on this canvas. I'm gonna have to make it bigger soon. Jellyfish mermaid is a unique concept. It is. I dig it. I'm a recovering rage bait victim. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Yes, you are. I hope that didn't rage bait you. Thanks for sharing. No worries, dude. Where can people follow you, Drac? If you want to share any links, you're more than welcome to spam them in chat. Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, Rule 34, OnlyFans, Pornhub. Drop it, dude. I don't care. I'm just kidding about the last three. Maybe don't drop those. But you're more than welcome to drop anything that you want people to go check out. The tummy area looks really good. Yeah, I like the definition on the anatomy here. You can see like the clear rib cage lines and the saturation to divide like the shadow regions. Very nice. I mean, I was about to drop my OnlyFans. You know what? Fuck it. Drop your OF, dude. Let's see them titties. Let's see them titties and or butthole. I'm gonna shift this over just so I can see my canvas again. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, Clip changed their fucking lasso tool thing. Now if you don't hold shift, it resizes the image. It's very annoying. Hole reveal. That's right, hole reveal. You know when people chant for pizza, they go like pizza, pizza, pizza. OnlyFans, OnlyFans. Unfortunately, I don't have one. It's for the best. It's probably for the best. I'm pretty sure there's a setting for that, but I'll have to check. What are you talking about? Holereveal.com, OnlyFans.com, moist undergarments. Feet Finder? No. Feet Finder. Not another Feet Finder user. Guys, I'm not a big foot guy. I don't dig the feet, alright? I'm just not big into feet. I kinda hate feet. I don't have the gene, alright? I don't have the gene and or developmental experience to sort of have led me to be into feet. Snack prefers paws. Guys, I'm not a furry, alright? I know everybody thinks I'm a furry. I'm not. I'm just a guy who's a mouse. That's all. The two can exist exclusively, alright? They don't have to be linked. I like human women. Not dog women. Not bird women. Not cat women. Fox women. None of that. Just give me the flesh freaks, dude. The hairless animals. Snack, it's okay if you like furries and feet. I'm sorry, what was the first message you sent me, Dr. G, on Discord? Just curious. Just kidding. Just threatening. We love you no matter what. You try to slander me, dog. I don't hate feet. I just think that they do nothing for me unless they're like pleasant in a pleasant overall pose. I guess. I just don't like feet, dude. I don't like the way they move. They're like little snakes, dude. I don't like it when they rub together. I don't like feet. I'm kind of anti-feet. I'm not like one of those guys where if you put your foot in my mouth, I'm not gonna be like gagging or anything, but I'm not gonna be sucking on your toes or anything, I'll tell you that. Also, Drac, if you got a dip or whatever, Fissy Shine is really into feet. Damn, exposed. I respect it, Drac. If you got a dip, if you gotta go eat, you gotta go do your thing, don't let me stop you. No, I am not. I'm inclined to believe the streamer. We never lie. Chat lies all the time, dude. Little snakes? What the fuck kind of feet have you been looking at? I don't know. I just don't like the way they move. It's alright. You can be like when Sonic kissed that human woman. That's fucked up, dude. Is that true? I'm speechless. I was trying to think of something to say, but there's no nice way to say it, so I won't. You won't gag and you won't suck, but it can go on your mouth. No feet in my mouth. No sucking. There's only... I can't reveal too much. This is classified information, okay? This is top secret. You guys don't have the clearance to know this information about me. I'm gonna be quiet while I'm ahead. Chat lighting? That's right. That's a lie in itself. Streamers, is it true? Is it true the chat lies? Can we trust chat? Have this Insta? I'll take it. I'll take your little Instagram. Give me that shit. Give me that shit. Hold me now. My feet from the air and I'm thinking. This is the music of my people, dude. Early 30s white boys. Everybody, raise a candle, would you? No snack. People on the internet never lie. It's a truth. Just like how women don't exist. Just because they don't talk to us, guys, doesn't mean they don't exist, alright? Or it could be like how the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were into that one reporter. True. Never trust chat. I still dislike Creed. Well, it's a good thing you're not controlling the playlist right now, huh? To be fair, I'm an early 30s brown guy. I mean, are you brown, Dizzy? I feel like by that definition, I'm probably brown too, because I got a little Lebanese in me, you know? But I don't identify as brown. I'm white Tinks, I guess. You know, I'm white X or whatever. I'm like the Latinx, but the white version. I got a little flavor to me, a little seasoning, you know. Do you listen to Lebanese music? When I go to shawarma shops, I do. To be honest, accurate. This music makes me think of my brother. Based white adjacent. It's true. I'm like a great value product that was accidentally left in the international aisle. That's it. Latinx sounds like a Pokemon. It's true, it does. What sound does that Pokemon make? I'm not allowed to say it. I'm sure I'm not. Chat's trying to get me canceled right now, dude. It's not gonna work. I'm a seasoned internet user. I came from the COD days. It's not gonna work on me. I got it all out of my system years ago. Chat, how the fuck do you draw a bent arm with like loose fabric? I hate this shit. I need to go prepare for the gym? Shit, go get pumped up and swole, big dog. Don't let me hold you. Thank you so much for sharing. Anytime, dude. Oh, and last time, guys, go follow Serge Rashir. If you guys want to follow a digital painter, as well as Dr. G. Got our two little raiders here on full display. I need to evolve from a twink to a twonk. I believe in you, dude. Get that Rippling bot. Do you have a reference pulled up? Well, you're speaking too logically to me right now, Kimdo. I don't have a reference. I'm trying to do it out of imagination, but Alpha Wolf Amarok. Alpha Wolf. It was very beta of me to misread that. Alpha Wolf Amarok. Thank you. Welcome to the Wolf Pack. Very ironic name, considering my follow song notification noise. Notification. Oh snap! You're live on YouTube as well. Do you read chat there too, or mostly just Twitch? I read chat on YouTube. I treat my I've been good at not neglecting my YouTube children. Okay, for a while I would ignore them, and then I'd look at it and I'd have like 10 messages, and half of them would be my mods telling the YouTube chatters that I ignore YouTube chat. But I have them both pulled up right now. I just get no views on YouTube at all. I've been streaming on YouTube almost as long as I've been streaming on Twitch. I'm currently streaming to 0 concurrent viewers on YouTube. It's never worked. And I have subscribers. Tons of people get the notification when I go live. Nobody loves me on YouTube. What can I say? I go to the gym for the same reason. You're trying to be a twonk. You're trying to get big rippling muscles. He prefers YouTube chat because when he realizes he nags us, we crave his approval more. I just like the diversity of look, I used to stream on Kick for a while too. I don't judge, alright? I'm everywhere. I'm under your skin, I'm in your walls. I'm all over the place. I aspire to be a muscle mommy. Dr. G, I'm not gonna lie, I aspire for you to be a muscle mommy as well. Not just for my own gratification, just genuinely I'll be happy for you if that goal is accomplished, okay? But I dig that aesthetic, so I'm not complaining. Well, I'm more often on YouTube than Twitch, so I'll try to pop by when I see you stream. Hell yeah, dude, do it. See you in a year. See you in a year. Salute. You can do it, I believe in you. Chat, you know, before I streamed, I used to work out a lot. And I was pretty fucking jacked. And then I fucked my shoulder up. And then I was like, you know what, maybe I should start drawing again. And then I started streaming. And then the rest is history. But my shoulder's getting a lot better. I'm basically... I would say I'm about 80% recovered. And I think another 2 months of the rehab I've been going through, and I'll be back to lifting. And then I'll be shredded again, and it'll be very nice. And then who knows, maybe I'll be one of those sad old men who posts like thirst traps on the internet. Probably not, but who knows. I believe in your ability to crush a watermelon between your thighs, as all muscle mommies do, as a rite of passage. I believe in it too, dude. In fact, I think you should... Never mind. I believe in it. You can do it. I'm so sorry about the injury. It's okay. You didn't do it. I did it to myself because I'm an idiot. I'm same hat. I actually started working out because I got diagnosed with a muscular condition called TOS. Terms of service. Let me check. I don't know if I'm being baited right now, if that's real. TOS. TOS. Muscle. Thoracic outlet syndrome. Dude, that's literally what I thought I had. Where your fucking nerves are impinged under your collarbone. And you're like, am I gonna say it? What's the fucking tiny little stupid little muscles? Not your sternocleidomastoid. The other little shithead muscles. Dude, it's terrible. Now, do you, like, have you had, like, imaging? Do you know you have TOS? Because a lot of, like, what I have can basically look like it can have similar symptoms to TOS. But it isn't always TOS. And the nice thing about TOS is you can fix it. Kind of. But for those who don't know, it's basically compressed nerves. And also, in really bad cases, compressed arteries as well. And still in clinical trials, so no one knows how to fix it easy. Yeah. I've heard of, like, there are some ways. I think a lot of it is, like, postural. and just sort of like habit changes, but I have tendinosis. I've gotten X-rays and MRIs. Nothing shows on X-ray, but MRI artery compression came up like 8 mm on one side and a little less on the other. Ah, that sucks. So you get like numbness and stuff in your hand. This was when I was first diagnosed 3 years ago. 3 years ago. How are you symptomatic? Like, are you symptomatic still? My issue is I have tendinosis from chronic overtraining. So I used to work out a lot for years, and because of that, I fucked my rotator cuff muscles up. Essentially, I fried them. I never let them recover well enough because your rotator cuff muscles are really weak. So you can keep training even if you have sore rotator cuff muscles, and you'll build up like you'll build up like chronic damage, and you basically you destroy your muscle. You deteriorate the muscle over time through this damage. And the only way to fix it is to do really light work on those muscles to build up like enough healthy tissue to counteract all the destroyed tissue that you've destroyed. But do you like work out every single day? At the time, I was doing about 5 to 6 days a week when it got really bad, and I had just shifted my routine over to a lot of overhead pressing, which is sort of what did me in, with not enough sort of like posterior work to counteract a lot of the pressing movements I was doing. I wasn't doing a lot of pulling. I mean, I was doing pulling, but it was like rows and shit. It wasn't like PT-based pulling, like banded work for your rotator cuff and stuff like that. But when it first happened, I couldn't draw for 3 months. I used to draw 8 hours a day, and now I can only do about 4 hours max, but that's way healthier. Yeah, that's basically what it was for me. The first year of streaming, I would build up like a lot of pain in my shoulder. By the end of the week, it was like I'd have to cancel some streams just because it fucking hurt too much. Now I'm pretty much pain-free unless I overdo it on one of my sessions. My issue, I think like a lot of artists or a lot of people who sort of are very obsessed with growth and development, I have a really bad habit of overdoing things. It's very, very difficult for me to pull off the gas in things that I'm interested in. If it's stuff I don't like my day job, I can fucking chill off the gas all day, dude. I can be a lazy son of a bitch. But if I'm really interested in stuff like drawing, streaming, art, like I get kind of obsessive to the point where I essentially like will physically hurt myself doing stuff. And it was like that for working out. Working out was like an insane obsession of mine. Because I had a point where I had like a relationship that I came out of, and I gained a lot of weight. Not like a crazy amount, but I'm like 5'8", and I was like 210-ish pounds. And which is, for a guy who doesn't train, that's a lot. You know, that you look rotund. And when I started working out, like after like 2 years or whatever, I had basically lost around 70 pounds, and I was sitting at around 155 roughly, consistently, with an extra like maybe 15 pounds of muscle gain, and I looked fucking sick, dude. Now I'm sitting like at a normal weight, but it's just like I want to work out so fucking bad. I just don't want to set myself back. So I'm really making sure that I'm 100% good to work out, and I'm gonna just sort of drip feed myself some exercises. I'm having trouble with my right leg pushing 105. It's been a bummer because I could still do stuff with my arms, but my leg is just. What do you mean? Like you should do your legs flare out or in? Like when you squat, let's say, do your legs flare out excessively, or do they cave in excessively, like your knees buckle inwards? Because there's exercises you can do to target like both of these issues. You kind of want to be in a middle ground here where you're stable. In my case, I have it's more of a cave in. You want to probably train your external rotation then. Just look up external rotation training. You can also, what you can do is you can use a band that'll sort of force you to keep your legs out. I feel pain on the outside of my leg. That could be internal rotation then. I don't know. I don't really know. Legs are, again, like the shoulder, I'm not a fucking doctor. I'm not gonna diagnose your ass, but like a lot of joint issues and stuff like that are very very complicated to diagnose because there's just so much shit going on in those joints. Luckily, legs are a little bit simpler than shoulders. The shoulder joint is one of the most complex joints in the human body just because of how dynamic like its range of motion is. The leg only has like you can't spin your leg like 180 degrees upwards like you can with your shoulder. That would be terrifying. But yeah, the shoulder is a bitch. Bro, I don't know how people can get motivated working out. I can never keep it up for more than a month. I just played sports growing up. I grew up playing hockey like my whole life, and so for me, just doing like working out with my boys and stuff like that was like normal. It was just like a thing that I did regularly, like for social stuff. For me, Jalisi, unfortunately, it's mostly due to my muscular condition. If I don't work out, I suffer. True. Do you find, Dr. G, that like as you've gotten stronger, the amount of endurance you have before you actually have flare-ups when it comes to drawing or doing other like regular stuff, it reduces? It's the gayest gym I've ever been to, and the gay guy at the counter is like, "Welcome home, ladies." I work out at home. I literally have, over the course of like the last 5 years, built up a solid home gym. I have like a squat rack behind me with like safety racks and like fucking, I have like Olympic barbells. I have specialized barbells because of my shoulder injury. I have like safety squat bars. I've got trap deadlift bars, like trap bars. I've got individual dumbbells. I've got a lot of shit here, dude. I've got an exercise bike. I've got it all. I basically have everything I need to just work out at home. So I'm an antisocial gym goer. Yeah, no, I was a hermit who always was drawing. Sports didn't treat me well at school. I feel like I had a very like unorthodox upbringing compared to most artists, I think, because I didn't really start drawing till like my early 20s, and at that point I had already gone through like high school and shit. I was a druggie when I was in high school. All I did was fucking drink and smoke weed and other stuff. I was going hard for about 3 months, and then had to take a break for a week on a trip, and I didn't start feeling numbness around the 7th day. Yeah, that's but the thing is, it like stacks, right? That's the issue. And I think having a stream schedule, like my stream is consistently on a schedule, and so it's been easy for me to monitor whether I'm improving or not because I can make it through my routine now. Whereas before I would have to stop streaming or, you know, not draw as much while I'm streaming or readjust my positions. And so I feel like having my stream schedule, it gives me a good like barometer to be like, is this working? Am I doing too much? Am I doing too little? Like if I'm in agonizing pain during my stream, I've overdone it on my routine, my exercise routine throughout the week, right? But I was going hard for 3 months. To take a break, blah, blah, blah. I envy you so much because I live in a flat, so the best I can manage is a couple pull-up bars and a resistance band. Really? I have an apartment. I mean, that's like the Canadian equivalent of a flat. I've got like a 750 square foot condo. And one of my rooms, like the room I'm in right now, is basically my office with my computer and my workout equipment. I just shove it all in there, and I'm very like efficient with the space. And then my bedroom is literally just a mattress on the floor. I don't even have a bed frame. It's like the most fucking bro thing ever. To be honest, I didn't like sports either, mostly because people expected it from me to be like my siblings. Interesting. I didn't have that. Both me and my brother played a lot of sports. My dad played a lot of... My dad played squash growing up, which is a really weird sport. And then I played hockey, and then my brother played hockey and baseball. And so, sports was just like a part of our household, I guess. Gosh dang, a druggie. Well, art's great because of that in it. It really doesn't matter if you started from a young age or later. Yeah, exactly. I really think like most people can get to a high level of proficiency within like 4 years-ish. If you're like really consistent and you're really like training deliberately, you can get pretty good in a reasonable amount of time. You're gonna have a lot of like areas that you're not gonna be an expert in, but that's sort of every artist. That's such a guy-coded house design. My design is, this is literally what my apartment layout is. This is my floor plan from the top. So my door to come in is like right here. I have like a little nook here where I have my washer and dryer, and then like a coat rack and like a shoe rack or whatever. And then I have my bathroom in here with my shower and my sink. Well, I guess my toilet too. I should probably put my toilet here, right? And then I have room number 1 right here, which is my bedroom. Room number 2, which is where I stream from. And then all of this out here is a balcony. And then this is just my living room, and then my kitchen's like right here. So this is my apartment layout. So I'm chilling right here with my squat rack behind me. My weights are all, actually my squat rack's like here. My weights are all splayed like here. And then I have a closet in here. Anyways, that's my setup. I have a couch here. This is my couch. And then I have an exercise bike here. This is literally my apartment setup. Doxed. That's right. Cozy apartment layout? I don't know if I'd call it cozy. Honestly, I just find it hard to measure my own skill when it comes to art and areas I can improve, hence why I rely on critiques so much. I think the struggle with art is that you're not really going to notice your improvement until a few months go by. And even then, you're just going to basically like notice your improvement. Like I think you should just set yourself up to just produce better art than the last art you produced. And if you keep doing that and you keep trying to improve your processes and get little 1% improvements here and there, in like a year or two, you'll be so far where you were before that it'll like blow your mind. Especially early on. Your returns get a little bit smaller as you get more experienced. Because you kind of lock into your style a little bit more and your habits and all that stuff. And it's a lot more difficult to break out from them. But I think when you're a new artist, you can be pretty experimental. I mean, you can be experimental as an artist anyways. I shouldn't say that. It's fair, but art skill is hard to measure for everyone because the many aspects that are tied to it. Yeah, it becomes obvious though. Like at a certain point, it becomes pretty obvious. Like my old art was really bad. Like I remember showing my dad when I told him I want to go to art school, and I was showing him my old art, and I was like, Dad, I'm gonna go to art school. And at this point, I had just finished college. And I had like a diploma in like engineering, electrical engineering, and then and I was like, Dad, fuck all that shit. I'm going back to school. I'm gonna be an artist. And I showed him my artwork, and it was terrible. And he's like, and he supported me. God bless his soul. He supported me, but my art was fucking ass, dude. But I'm also like a very like obsessive person, so my first year I went really fucking hard at practicing. And then this year, I think this year, since I started streaming, is probably the second hardest I've ever gone. Not the second hardest I've ever gotten, guys, okay? That's every day. But the second hardest I've ever gone. Ayo? That's a neat idea, actually. What's the idea? I'm trying to make like a little stat sheet that will help me keep track of how I view my art compared to what I get in critiques. I think a good thing to have is a list of common habits and mistakes you make. If you find you tend to make the face too long or something like that, little notes like that will really help you a lot. I don't really know how you could quantify art improvement because of the subjectivity of it. I mean, if you know a way, I'd be curious, but... To be honest, I was having the same issue and I was fully just going to pick a few arbitrary categories and rank them 1 to 5 on a spider diagram. I don't know if you need to do all that. I mean, you can. I really do think, like, noticing your common habits is, like, gonna be a lot more important. Like, if I'm doing a study, and I also think, like, once you do something well, like, if you get, like, a head you like, let's say I like this head, I should try and draw it again. You know? Doing the exact same pattern and the exact same shape that I did before, exact same negative spaces, just to really make sure that I can cement this sort of pattern in my brain. And I don't necessarily need to do it identically the same, but the goal is to get this sort of muscle memory in, you know? And I think sort of when you make those breakthroughs, even if you're just taking one element, like let's say you really like the way you did this hand. Let's say I really like the way I did this hand. I should go and I should draw this hand again and again and again, probably over the course of like a few days, to really make sure that when I'm ever like in a situation where I need to draw this hand, I'm never going to struggle on it. It's just going to be locked in. That's sort of how I think about it. Kind of like on video games chats, to see strengths and weaknesses. I mean, if it's fun for you, do it, you know. If it keeps you motivated and adhering to the process, it's not a bad idea. Hello, what up, HDMZ? How you doing, dog? Usually people just say, wow, it's pretty, and I'm like, okay, but mistakes? And then I find myself much later, I feel like people are afraid of giving and taking constructive feedback since it may sound negative or something. Jelky, I have news for you, dude. That's part of this channel. So what we do is, in my Discord, I have a critiques channel, and if you post in the critiques channel, I'll go over your work live on stream. There's no cost, there's no point redeem. If I've got time and I'm in the mood, I'll just do it, you know? So feel free to drop your art in the Art Critiques channel in the Discord. I'll send you the link to the Discord. And if there's something you want feedback on, don't hesitate, dude. A Discord? Oh, yeah. Speaking of, can you show me how to do the overshoot on the animation? Yeah, okay, so let me pull up your overshoot here. So I'm gonna switch screens. We're gonna be looking at the Discord for 2 seconds. Just because he did an animation, and it's fairly difficult to show an animation on stream. So I'm gonna pull up the Discord. So here's the Discord. Let's go over to Jadu's thing on the Discord. So this is Jadu's animation. And so what I'm telling you is the fall here, there's a couple things. So on frame, yeah, frame 835 and 836, you're doing something called sticking. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean by that. If you notice, as I'm scrubbing through this, I want you to look at the neck. I want you to look right here. You can see my mouse, right? So I'm gonna write this down on Twitch right now. You can't see my clip, but I have a clip open. I'm just gonna write this note down. A36. And what was the other one? Was it A35? A36 and A35. The neck here sticks. Whenever you get sticking like that, it draws the eye into that area, so you want to avoid sticking like that. You can have really tight spacing. Do you know what spacing is? If you have like a drawing next to another drawing, the distance between those two drawings overlapping is the spacing. You can have really tight spacing, but you never want one feature to sort of stick because it's very distracting. And so right now he's turning here and it feels like he hits a wall. So what you could do is between these two poses, just have this move A35 closer, a little bit closer to A34. Have it still favor A36, but don't have it stick to A36, because right now it's sort of snapping on to the neck position on A36. And that's what's causing sort of that wall feeling, like he's hitting a wall. You're sticking on the neck there. So you gotta change the spacing. So I'm writing this down, okay? So change the spacing. I'm gonna look at chat now. Because I don't know what the hell's going on right now. Oh shit, everybody's watching ads. Oopsies. Okay, we'll come back after the ads. Well, I guess no ads if you have an ad blocker, but... Are you guys back? I think you guys are back. Ad is over. I was listening intently. Okay. What I was saying, Jadu, is A36 and A35 stick. I know you have a subscription, so in your particular case you can see, but Dizzy gifted a sub to Scoundrel. Who the hell's Scoundrel? Congratulations. Thank you for the sub, Dizzy. I appreciate you, big dog. If you give Snack money, ads just go away. That is true. And I get richer. What was I saying? A36 and A35 stick on the neck. You heard that. Now the other issue, let's switch back to the Discord view. So the other issue is when he falls, look at the spacing here. Look at the cursor. So right now the top of his head is essentially at the top of the frame here, okay? Next drawing. It's basically one head length away. Next drawing. It's basically one head length away. It's actually slowing down. It's closer, which means he's decelerating as he falls, which is not how falling works. Falling would accelerate. So what you should do is I would say this pose here, A42, I'm writing it down. A42 should favor. Do you know what favor means? Let me know if you don't know what that means. I'll explain it. Should favor A41. Favor it more. Favor A41 more. Also, I like that you're labeling your animations. When people submit animations, I think I'm going to start turning them away unless their frames are labeled. It's so hard to give feedback on animations if they're not labeled. Okay? Get rid of A43. Do we want to get rid of it? No. Don't get rid of A43. A43 is going to be a big stretch frame, and it's going to favor A42. A43 is going to be stretch shot. And it'll favor A42. Okay, and then when the overshoot happens, so when I say overshoot, what that means is you take your last shot here, A44, we're going to switch over to the Discord view, or the clip view. We're going to bring in your shot. So what an overshoot is going to look like, I should really do this on another canvas. We'll do it on this one, because this is the canvas I used for my short. So I don't need you, Pikachu. Go away. Fuck off. Okay. Let's do a white background. Oh, actually, you know what? What am I doing? I can literally just animate this. Let's do a new animation. Let's import. I didn't mean to do that. Timeline. To stop painting. Also, guys, I'm probably gonna wrap up in 45 minutes. So we could probably finish off with some critiques if that's what people want, but... So I'm gonna drop your guy in here. Drop your friggin' boy. I'm gonna link him to this layer. Where's the little link thing? We're gonna link, what is he? He's 2. Okay. So we got your boy in here. I'm gonna clear out all this shit. I don't need that. So what I'm saying is... The fuck? I'm no wizard, just someone with way too much free time. Man, I super don't understand animation. You guys are wizards to me. Animation has a lot of basic principles. I think animation's actually easier to pick up than drawing is. And I would recommend to people who want to be animators, really hone your draftsmanship abilities, because picking up animation with strong draftsmanship is going to be a hell of a lot easier than picking up animation with weak draftsmanship. And I can't say the opposite. Like, picking up draftsmanship through animation is just such a slow process that it's gonna make your life a lot harder. Really focus on getting your general drawing ability up if you want to learn how to animate. Okay, so we got your guy here. Let's bust out an onion skin. So what I mean by an overshoot is we're basically taking your character here as he falls, and we're shooting him beyond his position here. I need a better brush. Let's take this one. So we're gonna shoot him like this. I'm gonna bring his elbows out as he braces, okay? As his shoulders shoot down. His hands are positioned back here. I can see his shoulders there. The knees, I don't know. We could do whatever. We could bring him in, I guess. Really, it's up to you. But we're gonna squash a little bit. This one we're gonna have to shoot out, that way they're not twinning. So actually we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna have the knees sort of have opposing movements just so they don't twin. Okay, something like that. Your arms are twinning here, which is bad. We're gonna get rid of... I think you should get rid of the twinning here. Make this arm do something else. Have it be out here. I don't know, whatever. Just don't make it be like perfectly symmetrical the way it is. It flattens out the image. So I don't really... I'm trying to think of what exactly... I'm just gonna go with the arms straight out just because that's sort of how they're set up right now. And then the overshoot, essentially on the next shot, what you would do is you would have the shoulders start to rise. I would continue the head down just a little bit. So the head continues the momentum down, but the back and the rest of the body start to rise up. And then they sort of settle into their position. The knee, you can have sort of, I don't know, you can have it do really whatever. You can have it swing around. Knee's not going to be doing too much crazy stuff. I'm going to bump the onion skin back just so I can see your frame a little bit better. So we're overshooting. And then we're going to... try to think of the knee here. Something like that. Doesn't really matter what the knee's doing. It's not really about the knee. Then I'm going to do another one. And then we're going to start to settle. So now the arms are going to sort of come in a lot more. And they're going to really start to be slowing into your initial pose. I'm just going to switch this so we can see... Oops. Just one more frames here. So yeah, so it's starting to settle in now. Now the head, instead of having it come down and straight back up, what I think I'm going to do actually is I'm going to shift the head so it has a stronger arc to it. So I'm going to move the head over like this. So as it comes down, and now it's going to settle up from there. And you're basically just going to have it come up. And then into its initial starting pose. Really, really, really tight with the spacing on this. So I'm going to do one more here. Just really tight as he sort of settles into that final pose. And that's essentially what an overshoot is. You see how it feels like just a little bit... It feels a little bit more organic. I almost think like you could actually have it squash and stretch more. So I think this one, what I would do is I would stretch it out more. And I would add it a little bit higher like this. Then this, as it comes down, I would actually squash it a little bit more. And then this one, I'm going to actually have it favor the bottom a little bit. Just so it doesn't feel like he's slamming his head. And then this one, I don't need to make as tight now. I'm just going to put it like here. And we'll see how that works. But yeah, so you can feel like he falls and then he just sort of like slams. And then the momentum basically follows through. That's what an overshoot is. You're carrying the movement through the initial pose. So as he falls, then he props himself back up from there, right? So that's just like a quick little demo on like an overshoot. And you can do overshoots on a whole bunch of stuff. So like let's say you have a head, right? And you have like the head sort of turning. Let's say I want this head to go from here over to here. Right? This is gonna be like really off model, but essentially, like let's say you want the head to go from here to here. Well, you can create all of these sort of little overshoots and antics inside of the pose itself. So maybe his head dips down, does a little stretch here, and he closes his eyes, or the eyes squash, right? And that sort of gets him there. There's a bunch of different paths you could take. But essentially, this is sort of, you're planning your stuff out. Look, we have 3 drawings, and you can tell, it feels like he's moving his head over, right? Like, it took 30 seconds to do that. Simply Rickson, what's up, chat? What up? What up, Rickson? I tried animating a few times, but my drawings aren't stable enough, and I actually, surprisingly, don't have the patience so far. Animation's a bit of a bitch to get into, but... Anyways, I'm gonna get rid of this. I can't really share this with you. But what I would say, Jadu, is just come back to the VOD and just watch this segment again. I'm not gonna save it. We're just gonna get rid of it. But that's what I would recommend. And then all of these notes as well, which is essentially what I was describing there. And then we're gonna see if there's anything else in the critiques channel. There is not. So I'm free to go back to drawing. I really should work on my animation again. I feel like I haven't touched that in so long. I'm gonna open it up just that way if ever I'm like doing shit on my desktop, I'll think about popping in and just sort of doing a little work on the animation maybe. Where's my... For a lot of the new viewers, we spent the last like couple months basically like the last month and a half, I think, just animating before we switched back to illustration, which was the girl that you had just seen or whatever. But we were just doing like random little animation stuff, and I never finished it. What's the other Paramore song that was playing earlier, like 2 songs ago? Let me check my history. Recently played Pressure by Paramore. It was Pressure. Misery Business and Pressure. Anyways. Bye-bye Pikachu. Bye-bye Light Table. Or Timeline. Guys, I'm gonna grab some water real quick. I'll be back in 2 seconds. I also bought. Well, I didn't buy them, but I brought 2 bananas. Because I'm feeling like a little slut, dude. I need some phallic objects in my mouth. Stat. I'm so hungry. Give me a little B in my life, you know? A little B-A-N-A. A. Bro, I love bananas. Gotta be one of the best fruits ever invented. Whoever thought of making this shit? Crazy. Big guy in the sky, God. Killed it. I'm absolutely fucking up the song names, but so far, Songify's gotten them all correct. I know. You're playing with fire, though. One of these days, it's gonna get it wrong. Well, bananas as they are today are a result of genetic mutations. Good, dude. GMO all them bitches, dude. That shit's delicious. Keep it up. Monsanto, you know what to do. Holding nerd glasses? That reminds me, where are my glasses right now? All produce are high key. Yeah, I know. Why is it so laggy? I feel like this shoulder's showing too much shoulder here. I think for the perspective, you would see a lot less of the shoulder, just because it's very 3/4. More kawaii. Sade, how you doing? Looking good. I mean, strictly speaking, living things are the result of genetic mutations. Yeah, I think we're talking about like gene mutations, though. You know. Apparently, potatoes exist because the tomato plant cross-pollinated with a nightshade, and the gene said gather your nutrients in the roots, it's good for you. We should just be fucking just creating shit all the time, dude. Why don't we make more vegetables? Where are all my big brain PhD havers that like to fucking grow plants, dude? Why aren't you guys making more vegetables, huh? Everybody's trying to mix vegetables and splice them. Invent new ones. I know that's the same thing, but still. Yeah, but bananas weren't made in the lab. They were genetically mutated by crossbreeding. Yeah, they're selectively, like, bred or whatever from plantains, I believe. But they're growing them as fast as they can, I think. Not fast enough, dude. I'm hungry. Daddy gotta eat, you know? It's because people are scared of the concept of humans tinkering with life, not recognizing that life has made a crazy amount of poisonous and venomous stuff just by doing its own thing. True. I mean, there's also like the fact that a lot of like the pesticide companies and the companies that would create like GMO products, like the corn that was basically like pesticide resistant, produced by like Monsanto, was also producing like fucking like warfare chemicals. So it's like, I'm pretty sure Agent Orange came from like Monsanto as well, and it caused like a bunch of fucking deaths. So there's like tons of conspiracies around Monsanto and all these like corporations that produce GMOs, and that's why I think GMOs have a bad stink. But you can also create GMOs that just are like way more nutrient dense, healthier for you. Like a GMO in itself is not like a bad thing. It's like it's like it goes back to the fucking, not to bring it back to the 3D posing argument earlier, but it's not all bad, right? There's a lot of benefits to GMOs. If people consume like a lot of a certain product, and you can make that product a lot healthier for them, or deliver more nutrients through that same sort of density, or the same sort of amount of product, without like significantly altering the cost, that's a net benefit to like the communities who consume those products, right? But at the same time, you could make gas that fucking gives people diseases and kills them and makes them born without limbs and all kinds of crazy shit. So just depends, really. Dealer's choice. Orange. Yeah, I don't think you'd like these kind of oranges. Yeah, there's also the fact that making a very hardy and resistant crop will inevitably outcompete all the other living plants and destroy ecosystems that's scientifically reasonable reason to be suspected of GMOs. Well, the thing with Monsanto was they sold pesticides. And what they also did was they found that farmers stopped using their pesticides because they fucking killed everything. And so eventually, they managed to make a crop that was pesticide resistant. But it was pesticide resistant specifically to their specific, like, pesticide. And so they would sell the seeds to the farmers to grow so that they could combine them with their pesticides, because their pesticides were the best in the game, in the biz, right? And they made deals with these farmers where they weren't allowed to sell their seeds to anybody else. But then you would have, like, a bunch of these pesticides leaking into the soil and killing, like, the neighbor's farmland and, like, all this shit. There's, like, a whole deep lore with, like, Monsanto. It's really interesting. If you ever want to go down some schizo rabbit hole about, like, fucking big corporations and, like, evil shit they do, Monsanto is a very, very, you know, normally I'm not a big conspiracy guy, but Monsanto is one of those companies that's very, very difficult to argue with in terms of them just doing evil shit. Big brain business shit, though. Speaking of conspiracies, we're getting fucking edged on the Epstein files. What's going on with that, huh? Give me the fucking Epstein files. That's what I'm saying. It's almost like if you let companies do stuff without regulation, it leads to horrific downstream consequences in the pursuit of unlimited wealth. Yeah, it's crazy, huh? Bro, my fucking graphics card is giving me ads now. Fuck off. I just got a Borderlands ad. From my NVIDIA GeForce driver. The fuck? I'm so curious how they're going to slip out this Epstein shit. Well, the law was made so they were supposed to release stuff today. And the Trump administration just announced that they're not releasing stuff today. But they'll release it in a couple weeks, guys. Don't worry. That's what they said. And now the Democrats are basically threatening to prosecute Attorney General Pam Bondi. Which, you know, based. But, anyways. I don't really give a shit about all the politics. I just want the files. Is the coat collar asymmetrical? It's just badly drawn right now, but yeah, kind of. Like, this should not be in the perspective that it's at right now. This should be way farther back. Like, this should be, like, over here, roughly. I'm just trying to think of, like, the alignment here, like, in perspective. That would line up with that. This would have to be way higher. So this would go, like, up to, like, here, let's say. I think that would line up in perspective a little bit better. And then that should make a little bit more logical sense. And then this can... It looks like shit, though. I just don't find the general shapes I have for the color appealing. I was gonna rework it, but I don't really know what to do with it. I won't lie, the Democrats should have released this shit before Trump got into the office. They could have had... They could have, they just didn't, which was a terrible choice in my opinion. I don't think they can, because the files are with the DOJ. And the DOJ is run by Attorney General Pam Bondi. And, you know, she calls the shots. And if your department boss tells you not to do a thing, you can't really do much. You're not the party, you're not the administration in control of the government. Like, that's why elections are important. Because the second an election's won, the president gets to determine who runs every major department for the government. Especially in Canada, like, if you have a majority, like the Liberals are in power, and so every department is run by a Liberal minister, right? And in the US, you guys appoint secretaries, okay? And so the AG, or the Attorney General Pam Bondi, is basically the secretary of, like, law. And so they can't really do shit. So unless they get it leaked to them by, like, journalists or something, which is possible, I don't think they can actually, like, release anything, because I don't think they have access to it. I think it's with the House Oversight Committee or whatever. I don't really know how that works, the committee stuff. But I do know that, like, once a government is, like, elected, they basically replace all of the people who run the government departments with their own people. That's why RFK is the fucking health guy. That's why, like, you've got all of these lunatics in all of these different departments. The fucking WWE wife who said that, like, who thought AI was A1, okay, is running, like, the fucking, like, education department. As a non-American, I don't involve myself in the entire situation because it's not my politics, but, you know, it's wild to me that there's seemingly no consequences for all this awful stuff. I think you're allowed to. I think the U.S. has its dick in everybody's mouth, and I think, you know, once... Like, I'm Canadian, okay? But the U.S. keeps, like, pointing a gun at our face every single year. Well, at least this year in particular. And so I have very strong opinions about my neighbors to the south. And I think, you know, if the reality is they dominate the global economy, and they also set a lot of, like, legislative decisions that trickle into every single country on planet Earth. So I think a lot of the world should be invested in sort of what's going on in the U.S. Anyways, I'm not trying to turn this into a politics stream or anything, but I just want the Epstein files. That's all I'm saying. Is that so much to ask for? Didn't the Dorito man also fire a ton of people in the White House? Possibly. This guy does shit every hour, it seems like. That's just, like, insane. So, I have no idea. Maybe. There are too many rich people in power trying their best to keep it all from releasing. I really do think, like, a lot of the power is centralized with Trump. I don't think it's as spread out as people think. layer did I do this fucking hair on, dude? My layers are fucked right now. I have to dip out. Hopefully I'll catch you tomorrow. Oh, you will. There's no stream on Sunday though, I will say, just because I got family shit. But I'll be on tomorrow. I will have a hard out at 4 though, so it's gonna be a little bit of a short stream. Well, 4 hours. It's not like super duper short, but it is gonna be a short stream just because I gotta go Christmas shopping with my boy. I got a little shopping date with one of my homies. We're gonna go be merry and gay at the mall and probably eat American style Chinese food. It was more spread out before, but he's slowly trying to consolidate power using some legal theory that was kind of drummed up like 10 years ago. Yes and no. I think it's more... Okay, so... In his first administration, in like 2016 when he was elected, the Republican Party was primarily like composed of old school, like actual politicians. And then he learned that he couldn't really get a lot of shit passed. Like, look at the like Jan 6 stuff, right? And we're sort of pivoting into politics, which I know we said we wouldn't, but I don't know how far we're allowed to go on politics and stuff in this chat. If I'm talking about it, I guess it doesn't bother me as much. But I think if I start saying like let's change the subject or something, just change the subject, right? I don't mind dipping our toes every now and then. But essentially, like in Trump 1, in the first term with Trump, he had to deal with a lot of classical politicians. In Trump 2, he recognized that he had a lot of issues passing things, and so he surrounded himself with nothing but sycophants. Everybody around him is some sort of lunatic. RFK is like a ex-heroin addict who fucking is like a conspiracy theorist. It wouldn't surprise me if he put some like fucking Alex Jones in charge of like media in the United States at some point in time. They're trying to do like the Paramount Warner Brothers merger right now. So I don't know. Karatza, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. And so what he's done is he's surrounded himself with sycophants and yes men. And so now he's doing a bunch of crazy illegal shit, and they're letting him do it. Now the question is, when he gets out of power, will the Democrats prosecute? Will people go to prison for this? Because there's a lot of illegal shit happening, you know? Anyways, I will say with that little rant, I'll let you guys say your little piece, but I'm probably not going to keep touching on the politics stuff just because I get that it's a triggering subject for a lot of people, myself included. I'm friggin' triggered. Oh, what up, big dog? How you doing, Karatson? I will say, though, a lot of these guys are opportunists more than anything, and not, like, die-hard loyalists. They're die-hard loyalists as long as they benefit from it. Would they die for him or go to prison for him? I don't know about that. Some of them probably would. The classic guys, like fucking Marco Rubio and, like, Ted Cruz and all those guys, probably not. They're just there to get theirs, you know? I love your little mouse, PNG, so much. You like that shit, dog? You like that shit? How about this? You like that? Just kidding. Severely doubt it. I don't know how, but he always manages to get away with it. I'm pretty sure he'll die of natural causes before any legal matter catches up. I think he's gonna die before his term ends, to be quite honest. I don't think he's healthy. Granted, my grandpa used to fall asleep all the time, and his ass is still alive, so who knows? Hi, David. How you doing, big dog? I don't think I like how tight I'm making those lines. It's kind of distracting. I'm just gonna kind of leave it light for now. Did you hear about JFK's grandson calling RFK a rabid dog and saying Trump put a collar on him and makes him bark or whatever? No. Is this like a metaphor, or is this like a real thing? You deserve. Your name. How the fuck? A metaphor, probably, but you never know. Maybe maybe we will know once the Epstein files come out. Maybe we'll get Trump blowing friggin' Bubba, and maybe we'll get a little RFK action. Who knows? There's so many goodies that I'm waiting to see. To be fair, most of his extended family tends to talk shit about him. Yeah, he's insane. Maybe they're into pet play? Wouldn't that be crazy? That would really hurt the furry community, I will say. That would be difficult to recover from if Donald Trump was a furry. Or maybe it'll popularize the furry community and they'll be more mainstream. Who knows? It could have either effect, really. I can't lie, that's the most disturbing image that's been put into my mind since people kept on implying Donald Trump gave Bill Clinton a blowjob. So dope, dude. First LGBT president. Well, I guess Bill Clinton would have been, but... The files proving politicians are into pet play is gonna be the tea of the century. I hope, dude. I hope they're into crazy shit. I hope they import OnlyFans models and poop on their chest and stuff. I hope it's like very, very fun to read. And not heavily redacted. I hope they wear those plugs with the tails. That'd be cute. Imagine if Donald Trump had like a blonde, like butt plug tail, like furry butt plug tail that matched his like blonde hair. Wouldn't that be kind of adorbs? Him on his knees barking. Kind of cute, just saying. Do you know what? If Donald Trump had zero power and it was just drama, it would actually be pretty entertaining to watch. Do you know what? If Donald Trump had zero power and it was just drama. Oh, you mean like if there were no consequences to shit going on? Yeah. Like actual like impacts on things. If it was just like reality TV. A new corpo turns up called Woof. Yeah, the new Doge. We were so close to the furry department, dude. Bork. Yif. YFF. YIFF. Chat, you guys are gonna hate me. I know I said I was gonna be done in 10 minutes. I kinda wanna wrap up now. Are you guys gonna be mad at me? Ooh woo. Yeah? Oh well. Let's see who we can raid. Let's find someone. Let's do someone new. I feel like I haven't raided someone new in a while. That's alright. Thanks for the stream. No worries. I'm glad I found you right before you stopped then. Normally I stream a lot longer. I'm just kind of cranky today. I've just had a like rough week at work. And but tomorrow we'll be on at 12 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be a lot longer of a stream. And for those who are new, if you would like to join our Discord, if you're an adult, you're more than welcome to join our Discord. And you can get live notifications from me. All you gotta do is go into the rules section, tick that you want the live notification role by clicking the little purple ball thing, and then I'll ping you whenever I go live. And then you can just get rid of the rule if I annoy the shit out of you. It's beautiful. I'd love to. You're awesome. Thank you. No, you're awesome. You're so much more awesome. This is actually just making me realize that one day in the near future, we're going to have Zoomers in politics and political power, and their scandals are going to be how some of them tried to skibbity riz up someone too young. I think the worst thing with Zoomers is that, like, all of their shit is not going to be email leaks. It's going to be, like, fucking Discord leaks, dude. It's going to be, like, some shit that somebody said, like 20 years ago in a Discord server that was, like, insanely edgy. And then, yeah, that's going to be the fate of, like, the future Gen Z. Like, the amount of communication I've had on the internet, like, through text-based communication, is a lot, you know. But anyways, I'm a millennial, so that shit doesn't matter to me. I'm the next generation that's gonna run this place into the ground. So we hate boomers now, but millennials are gonna have our day in the sun. So you just wait. We're gonna fuck this bitch up. Count your days, dude. Someone's future mayor's on Roblox right now? True, actually. Someone's current mayor is probably actually on Roblox right now. Alright, guys. I appreciate you coming out. Who's this person? What do we got? Learning pastel techniques. What's this lady doing? Oh, shit. This lady's fucking cracked. Alright, we're rating her. Give me a second. I just gotta change my audio over so I can actually, like, hear what the hell is going on. Okay, let's raid away. What do we got? We got slash raid. How do I spell this lady's name? M. So silly. Alright, guys, I appreciate you all for coming out. I will catch you all tomorrow for the next stream. Hope you guys had fun. See you there. Bye-bye.